Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Knee Slappin' K-Pop podcast. I'm Sammy. With me today, I have Kayla.
Hello.
And Maria.
Me llamo Maria, and this is Jackass. No, I'm kidding. It's the Scandals from 2022.
Yep. So when we did our Scandal iceberg, we thought it would be a good idea. I don't know what we thought, but to just try to chronicle the scandals of 2022.
I think we were gonna do like a mini iceberg type thing.
We were,
and that just evolved over the course of the
that
year.
evolved into me to be able to do the mini iceberg, keeping up with all of the K-pop scandals as they occurred.
There's so many,
and it
so
sort of ballooned.
Many.
This is ballooned to a 15-page Google Doc that I have been working on for the past 12 months at this point. Probably I would say closer to like 10 months, to be honest. But, so I have kept up with all, the title's a bit of a lie. This is not every single scandal that happened. This is probably all of the major ones and some of the stupid ones.
We had to start cutting scandals out of it because there were too many.
Yeah. Like, we took some things that don't matter. But a lot of things are still here. All of the major things are still here. Some of these aren't scandals, but they're just things from the year that we wanted to bring back. Also, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to do it chronologically month by month. If a scandal also went over, like, took forever, I will finish the scandal and then we'll move on. It based on when the scandal began. And also, every quarter, so every 3 months, I kept track of something arbitrary. And so then we will be presenting Sammy's arbitrary facts.
Yep.
So I think that this is going to already be too long.
Also, we're never doing this again.
We're never oh no, absolutely not.
We're probably not going to do this again.
This took hours of my life. This is things I will never, this is time I will never get back.
If it were me, I'd be willing to do a one-off episode, but I don't think I would document it to this extent ever again.
This was, again, I can only document it to this extent.
Fair.
Because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out with it, and then also trying to remember the scandals from, there are things on here that I wouldn't remember if I wasn't documenting it essentially in real time.
Pretty much.
This is essentially being documented all in real time. So which is also why, if the phrasing is off, if I refer to things in the present tense, that's because I was writing it in the present tense.
The verb usage is off,
Yeah, the verbiage might be a little off, I apologize. But yes, this is every major, some minor K-pop scandals of 2022 that I felt the need to keep. Also, I did only use sources that I could verify. For example, I used Soompi a lot. I used, actual, some of these were reported in, actual news sources, like the New York Times, things like that. I used all of that. I will not use Koreaboo. I will not use any of that.
That's how we
no all
K-pop.
Fuck all K-pop.
No all K-pop. We'd hate using them. Those we were only last ditch effort. And it was for really dumb scandals.
I truly think I never used them once. They are not used at all in this one because all of those scandals that I would have had to need to go to them for, I deemed either too unnecessary and I deleted them, or I found better sources elsewhere.
All I gotta say is God bless Soompi for existing, because imagine if we only had to rely on all K-pop and freaking Koreaboo for sources.
I think the only one I used
die.
all K-pop for the iceberg was the BTS condom scandal, which is not a scandal to begin with. It's just for really stupid ones.
Yeah, some of these aren't scandals, but they're funny. Also, what was I gonna say? If your favorite K-pop scandal's not on here, I didn't deem it worthy enough. Sucks.
So
also, we are going to be getting into actual crimes on here. There's also some of these that are just updates to old scandals that we've already talked about. So we're not going to get too much into that. Sungri gets to come back. We're going to talk about some.
There are going to be a few things that
we're going to talk about that are actual crimes.
Yeah.
So we also just want to point out that that's not us trivializing them with some other bullshit. It's just a lot of things happened this year.
If there was like an update to anything we covered on the iceberg, then we put it here essentially.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just a base warning too. Yeah, there will be a couple topics on here that are maybe for some people a little bit tough to swallow. So like I'd say a listener discretion is advised for sure, because some of them are follow-ups to like some deep, really messed up shit. So just letting y'all know.
Walk down memory lane.
Yep.
Hooray.
So we start in January.
Oh boy.
In January, and this even started happening in December of 2021 too. But we're gonna talk about High Key, specifically their member Sitala, who has now been removed from the group.
Yes.
So.
She was? Really?
Yeah, she's not in the new comeback.
So there's only 3 of them.
She was like immediately removed from that group.
So there was like only 3 of them. So she was only there for the debut then.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Jesus. That was
also
quick.
The fact that technically, yes, by rules that I set up later, this also means I should have gotten rid of this scandal, but it's already here, and I did too much research for this.
Well, she also didn't get removed until 2022, so I feel like it counts, because part of it
She also debuted in that group.
She did.
So it counts.
Yep.
Jesus.
So High Key is a girl group that debuted on January 5th. In December, Sutala started to come under fire because she's Thai. Her father, who was an actor and a filmmaker, Thai names.
Sarunyu Wonkrachan.
Sure. We apologize for all pronunciation.
Yep.
Thai names are tough, and they're long, so
we apologize for all pronunciation for every scandal going forward for anything. We apologize.
For generally just this entire podcast as a whole. We're going to put that out there. So that guy, her father, is allegedly a supporter of the People's Democratic Reform Committee, which played a key role in the 2014 Thai political crisis. And later, eventually, reportedly produced a propaganda film to support the Thai military government.
This is where I dove into madness.
Background on that, in 2013-2014, the Thai political crisis were anti-government protests that took place from November of 2013 to May 2014, organized by the People's Democratic Reform Committee. This crisis resulted in the removal of the incumbent Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, and a coup and establishment of a military junta. It's a very complicated political situation, obviously.
I base this a lot on a Wikipedia article, which, questionable, Wikipedia article is questionable, whatever. But this Wikipedia article is long.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's
a very complex and long, military coup of Thailand.
This goes back to, you can go back and back. Like any military conflict.
It's probably similar to, what happened in Myanmar, too. Like a long military coup.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of cause and effect. This is condensed. So, again,
this is the TLDR.
Do your own research. Do your own research into the Thai political crisis.
Yep. So in this entire military coup, 28 people died. And after it, the Army General Prayut Chan-o-cha was appointed the Prime Minister, and he is still there to this day after being re-elected by the coalition government in 2019. So K-pop fans as a whole were obviously very, very much not happy about her being in the group. And seeing Sitala apparently citing her father as a role model often in her self-written profile, which, that's a choice. And her agency, Grand Line Group, responded to the backlash with, "We have come to the conclusion that we cannot hold Sitala accountable on the basis of her father's past decisions and actions that were beyond her responsibility." That's also
which is essentially, we wash our hands of this.
Yep. She was later removed from that group, though, so...
Yeah, I mean, I looked into her a little bit more. Allegedly friends with Minnie from G-Idol, but also only a week apart from my birthday, too, as well. Like, holy crap. I didn't realize how old she was.
She left the group in May. I mean, all of a High Key is a slightly older group anyway.
They are.
I guess, but...
Yeah.
So she also, for reference, she was 18 when this Thai political crisis was happening.
She was not a
child. She was very much aware of what was happening and probably very aware of the part that her father played in that as well.
Yes. All right. So the second scandal is something people have heard of, but who knows? You might not remember this.
We complain about this man a lot on this podcast.
We talk about this man a lot.
He's really like an arch nemesis of the podcast.
It really is. So I gave some of these fun names. So I called this one Jay being an asshole.
I mean, but it's
So-
true though.
It was. So former member of Day 6, Jay, was doing a Twitch live stream when he made a comment, quote, "Now that I'm not in K-pop anymore, I can say this. Why is Jamie trying to be a thought?" Then he laughs like a fool.
Big yikes.
Idiot.
Then he encourages the fans to go and tell her the comment. Other
Such
choice
an
quotes
idiot.
during this
Oh
entire time
God.
was, and these are all quotes, "What's the difference between a baddie and a thought?" After someone commented in his chat that Jamie was a baddie. He then laughed and said, quote, "She's gonna be so pissed."
No shit.
He goes on
No
to call Jamie a close friend,
Oh my god.
but also then says, well, he'll do what he wants.
Oh, it's such an epitome of a fuckboy.
I know.
hate it.
Ugh.
Then
hate
he
it.
goes on to say that she is calling him during his live stream, and he'll pick up the phone on speaker. That if she calls, he'll pick up the phone on speaker. Later in the stream, he calls the chat a snitch for telling her, and makes fun of the fact that Twitter's gonna cancel him.
But
Oh,
like,
man.
dude,
So
you
what-
told the chat to message her about
Exactly.
this.
Oh my
So why the
God.
fuck are you telling the
Yeah.
chat that they're snitches, you dumbass?
So,
What a fucking dipshit. Oh my
So
god.
then
Fucking hate
Jamie
this man.
responds on Twitter with a series of tweets and was not pleased.
Oh,
She
shit.
said, quote, "I hate that we as women have to be subjective to men's humor to appease incels on the internet." She also wrote a tweet that said, "Just remember how much I cared for you even before you were in your last company, and how many times if you were all right. I prayed for you. Your questions were like mine. It's really sad." And then Jay writes an apology, which essentially boils down to, the comment was in poor taste. I feel terrible and I'm sorry to my friend.
Uh-huh.
What the hell?
How many times
Also,
has he
if
done
you
this?
watch-
though?
Jay, how could you not
His
see
iPhone
that doing
no
this was
app
not gonna end
apology.
well? Like, come on
It was
here.
a lot.
You
It was a
fucking
lot.
donkey. Like, I don't know what else to say. You were a
It
fucking
was,
dumbass, Jay.
again, guys are dumb.
This was like literally.
But also,
within
you're
a
almost
week.
30 too. So, like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's an
This was
adult
within
man.
like a week of him leaving or getting kicked out of JYP too. It's like
Mhm.
he was immediately, I'm not a K-pop idol anymore. I can do whatever the fuck I want without consequences. And then realizes like, you know what? Maybe
Then
I can
realizes
do whatever
that-
I want without consequences.
And then realizes that maybe the thing keeping him from just saying whatever he wanted wasn't so much, "Hey, I'm a K-pop idol," was people being like, "Be a basic, decent
be
human
a better
person.
person. Yeah.
Just be a decent person." We're not even asking for the highest bar. Just
No.
don't call people thoughts on.
Or, like,
call
don't
your
talk about
friends
your
thoughts
friends
on the
like this
internet.
on the
Who is that?
internet,
Like,
you know?
someone who's been a close
If that's
friend
when you
of
got
yours
clout.
for years at that point.
But
Like,
also,
are you
like,
kidding me?
there's a way to call somebody a thought that's an endearing way. This was just awful.
It was just
and I-
rude. It's so
it was just rude. Especially because she clearly was not happy. Like, she clearly
She
was
clearly
uncomfortable
didn't
with it.
enjoy it either.
Well,
It was,
also
like,
because I think
not a
Jimin
joke.
also, she had been, or Jamie Jimin, I think it's technically Park Jimin is her actual name, but she's gotten definitely comments
She's
about her
going
like
by
sizes
Jamie
and
now.
whatnot. Well, Jamie, yeah. Jamie has gotten like comments about her weight and stuff like that. So I think it doesn't help when a close friend / coworker of not only formerly at JYP, but also from like after school says shit like this behind, on the internet, kind of behind her back, but on the internet too. Like,
Look.
yeah, she's gonna be pissed. I don't blame her. It's
Look,
like, come on,
on a
dude. You already
final
know the shit
note-
I'm getting. Why are you doing this shit? Why are you perpetuating it? And I don't blame her for being pissed,
And the way that he said it too is not like, it's not like he said it in like a way that was clearly a joke. The way that he even phrased it was like an offensive way to be.
The way
Yeah.
he phrased it was essentially as if he was talking about a stranger.
Yeah.
And just being a dumb person on Twitch, which again, there's a lot of people that just do this, but they're specifically not talking about their friends. And not that that's right either, but like, it makes it worse when this is someone you clearly know that this is gonna hurt them.
Because if you're close enough friends, I can see it in a context where it's more of like a fun compliment type of a situation.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
it's clearly that was never
Clearly not
what the
what
intention was here.
On the final note, Jamie came out with a song called Pity Party in 2022 anyway. I like to think it's
I like
it's
it.
at least partially in there. And also go listen to Jamie.
Yes.
Jamie
She
is
deserves it.
I
Go
think
listen to
Jamie
Jay.
is a baddie in the best way. So that one
She is.
commenter
She's
was
great.
correct. She is a baddie in the best way. So go off, girl.
Thing that's not a scandal, but we want to congratulate. Also, Exo's Chen welcomed his second child in January.
Woo,
Congratulations, to him.
Congratulations,
Baby.
Chen and his second
Babies.
child.
Congratulations. So now.
All right, back to serious shit. Also in January, Seungri's sentence was reduced. Womp womp womp. Sad. Seungri. Sorry, I'm trying to say his name correctly, the Korean way, but you know.
Who cares? It's Seungri. Who cares about Seungri's feelings right now?
Yeah, I want to try to say names the proper Korean way. I'm trying here. So Seungri was charged with 9 charges stemming from when the Burning Sun scandal first broke. And in the appeal trial that he had, the Justice Department sentenced Seungri to 1 year and 6 months in prison, which that sentence is a reduced sentence from his first sentence of 3 years in prison, along with a fine of about $994,544. It's basically close to $1 million at this point. And on May 25th, May 25th, 2022, the Supreme Court confirmed Seungri's 1 year and 6 month sentence, and Seungri was set to be discharged from the military in September of 2020. However, his discharge was postponed, and he was being held in military prison. And Seungri was transferred to a private prison where he will serve the remaining 9 months of his sentence till February of 2023. So basically, when this episode gets released, he's gonna be out.
He'll be out of jail by this point.
He'll be out of jail by now.
Really sad and
sad.
Yeah.
Depressing. Not enough time.
Hate it.
Nope.
Hate it a lot.
Especially for these charges. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
It's like
this is
I can go into a whole thing about this.
We've
since
gone
in South
through
Korea,
into
but
a
we've
whole
gone
thing
that already.
We need to just
we gotta put that
lighten
in the
the
past.
mood. Lighten the mood. Kayla, go.
Well, it's like this is just more of a dumb scandal than it is anything. The end of January, SF9 Sweyoung and Channy got booked for violating COVID regulations. So on January 27th, the police and firemen had to force open the locked door of a drinking establishment operating at 1 a.m. And at the time, regulations only allowed operations to about 9 p.m. About 15 people were present, including Sweyoung and Channy and their friends and establishment staff, all of whom were booked by the police. Then FNC put out an apology statement.
They were really that desperate and stir crazy. Goddamn. They were like, we will break
really,
law.
nothing came of that. It was like they got
nothing happened from
them. They're fine.
Maybe they had to pay a
fine.
fine. Maybe they had to pay bail.
No one there had COVID, so it's not like it was a COVID.
Yeah, it's not even like it was a super spreader event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 15 people, so like,
hey, it could have been.
It could
they were
have
just
been.
at a bar several hours later than they should have been at a bar. It's like whatever.
They were that desperate to drink. Good lord.
Again, at that point, it was. I bet you wouldn't have even gotten booked if there probably wasn't at least like a noise disturbance.
Right.
Might have been loud. So now we move on to February. So in February, Hyuna and Don got engaged. We'll come back to that later.
Circle back on that.
Put a pin in that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Put a pin in that.
Circle back on that at the end of the year.
So the only other scandal I want to talk about is the My Teen Girl plagiarism scandal. So My Teen Girl was an NBC audition program that formed the girl group Classy. During the finale, contestants performed original songs. One of the songs, Sun, was made by G-Idol's Soyeon, who was a mentor on the show. The controversy stems from the fact that the chorus of Sun sounds almost exactly like ATEEZ's Wave. KQ came out and stated that while their producing team's name had been listed in the credits of Sun, they had not given permission for either the song or the producer's name to be used. Cube later came out with a statement that said, after the finale aired, we monitored the situation and recognized the similarity of part of the melody to another song. Our artist Soyeon spoke directly to the producer of that song about the situation and apologized to them. But also in the statement, they say that in the process, we judged that since we acknowledged the similarity, we had to give credit to the original producers. After Soyeon's discussion with the producer, she sent a request to the production company of Sun asking to modify the credits. 1 hour before it was set to be released, the producer's agency told us that they opposed this, but since the request to the production company had already been made, the song was released as it was without the agency's opposition being reflected. So essentially, they figured out that they had, like, essentially made a song that sounds exactly like another one, tried to cover their ass, and it didn't work.
Yes.
Because the guy just was like, no, you can't just use my song, even if you do credit me.
Yep. Lovely.
Yeah, so they credited him against his wishes.
He was like, maybe, and I'm like, I'm sure that was because he did not just want an identical copy to his song out
If you
there,
listen
even
to that
with his
song,
credits.
that chorus is identical.
It's the same
Jesus.
as
It's the
Wave.
same.
It is
So
the
yeah, I know you're
identical
desperate and you're busy,
same.
but come on, girl. If it's come on, Wave is not like a no-name song either.
Like, yeah,
I think in Idol standards.
Like, it was a choice to do it, because if you listen, like, there is no hiding behind anything. Also, Wave is not the most generic sound. It's not so generic that you wouldn't be able to hear it.
And it's like the melody
So
that's the
that-
most similar is like the sort of like the just whoa, like part in the chorus, and I'm like, this is the same. Like, this is just exactly the same.
The thing with it is that also you kind of have to sing in the again, because it's the same melody, you have to sing a similar way.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, sure, the songs are, they sound identical at this point.
Jeez. Come on, Soyeon. I know you're busy and you're tired, but you gotta ask for permission for these things, especially if you think it
They
sounds
tried,
familiar.
and then they said no, but it was too late.
You should have done it beforehand. Before
Yeah,
you
they
did
should
the
have really
song.
done it beforehand.
That's
also,
the problem.
This also kind of implies that they did it on accident and then realized it. I'm like, how do you, like,
How
that
do you
seems
just-
sketch.
okay, yeah.
It's identical.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was February. March! We only have one thing for March, and it's not actually a scandal,
not a
but I wanted
scandal,
to put
but
it
it's
in here.
okay.
But
because
it
I
is
thought
fun and entertaining to learn about. So, we're going to talk about DKZ in a way you wouldn't expect. So going back, though, the month previously, on February 16th, the Boys Love, or BL, drama Semantic Error started airing. And that show starred Jae-chan of DKZ and former KK member Park So-ham. And it was a massive success. And then on March 19th, Dongyo Entertainment announced a name change for the group from Dong Kids to DKZ. And that member one day was leaving the group, and that 3 new members would be added to the group. So brings it to about 6 now, I would say, if I did the math correctly. Yes. And then, so post the success of Semantic Error, all of Dong Kids, or DKZ's, songs, like Crazy and Lupin, started climbing up the music charts. And then DKZ announced a comeback, and that comeback album went on to sell 107,965 copies the first week. And in contrast, their last album sold only 1,244 copies the first week. So I say that's a big win. That's a big win. Win.
Congratulations
on
to
his
DKZ.
back. Jae-chan truly just reviving his entire group's career.
Thrive, Jae-chan.
Thriving.
All
Thrive.
thanks to
Absolutely
BL.
thriving.
See, guys, BL does change lives for the better.
It has.
It has.
Yes.
Look at, also, Cupid, very good song. DKZ really just, like, keeping thriving, and I'm happy for them.
Absolutely thriving. I'm happy for them.
They performed at the fucking Mamas.
They
Look
did.
at them.
DKZ
That was
at the
amazing for
Mamas.
them. That's great for them.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Alright, so at the end of the quarter, so we get a
we're at the end of the
fun
quarter,
fact.
so now it's for random things that Sammy kept up with for no reason.
Yep.
Why did I do this?
So, quarter 1, fun fact, here's everyone who's enlisted in the military as of this year.
It's less than you think.
Yep. So, we have Aces, June and Byungkwan. We have Astros, MJ, BAP's Young Jae, Block B's PO, Day 6's Wonpil, Golden Child's Dale, KNK's Insong, and former member Park Selham, Wonmi's Younghoon and Kanghyun, Pentagon's Hongsuk, SF9's Insong and Youngbin, Shiny's Taemin, Vix's Ravi, 101/Hotshot, / now soloist Ha Sung Moon, and Wonho.
So Robbie just makes me laugh there because
Robbie,
of
you
Yeah,
know, the
Robbie
this year.
situation also
Look, the Robbie situation technically happened this
It
year.
happened
We're not
this year,
talking
so we're
about
not
it.
gonna
We're
cover
not.
it.
No,
The Robbie
we're done.
situation is something else.
We have enough things to cover already. But yes.
But basically, he tried to
less
avoid the
pe-
military service
it's
or
less
get like
people that-
some benefits for it.
It's less people than I thought had it. Also, if I missed anybody, sorry. It's hard to keep up with this shit. Sometimes people just disappear. Also, I forgot BTS's Jin. We talk about him
Jin.
later, but
Jin's
also
in the
BTS's
military,
Jin.
Yes.
Yeah. It happened like the last day too,
Yes.
because it. But yeah, that's the only person I think it's not on here. But we'll talk about them later. All right, April. This is the big one.
The big
This
one.
is the beginning of the Lee Seraphim Kim Garam situation.
Oh boy.
So, God, this
oh
is
boy, here we go. Strap in your seatbelts, children.
Mind you, this is almost 3 pages of notes. So, Kim Garum was revealed on April 5th as a member of Le Sserafim. And immediately netizens came forward claiming to be middle school classmates of hers, claiming things like she would message juniors on Facebook who didn't greet her properly, she would drink, she would smoke, she was a bully who would threaten people, and hurl curse words at people who would pass by, like some sort of cartoon villain. It was claimed that a student collapsed at school and went to the hospital due to her actions. All of this at the age of 12.
A lot of things.
She was a 12-year-old supervillain. I don't know.
Allegedly. Listen, I know it's some bad shitty 12-year-olds, but like, that's a lot.
12-year-old supervillain.
There's apparently.
On April 6th, Hybe labels put out a statement denying these accusations. On May 2nd, Le Sserafim debuts. Then on May 16th, a photo of a document surfaced on online communities that appeared to be an official report about a school violence committee meeting. The document, which was dated 2018 and titled Notice of School Violence Committee Results, listed the name Kim Garum from Year 1 Class 3 as the perpetrator in the incident. These types of committees are in relation to Articles 16 and 17 of the Power and the Prevention of and Countermeasures Against Violence in Schools. Again, why have I gone so detailed into things? But Article 16 deals with the protection of victims, with the law stating that if a school violence committee deems it necessary, it may require the school to take measures such as providing temporary protection, treatment, psychological counseling, a change of class, and or any other measures necessary for the protection of the victim. Then Article 17 deals with the countermeasures against the aggressor student, stating that the school violence committee will request that the school take one or more of the following measures against the perpetrator of school violence in order to give a written apology, a restraining order prohibiting contact with the victim, service to the school, service to society, a special educational course or psychological treatment, suspension, a change of class, transfer to another school, or expulsion. When asked about this, Garum's former middle school replied that they cannot give a response. So essentially I go into all of this saying that what a school violence committee does varies greatly. What they can tell you to do as a punishment for your actions can go from like minor to extreme. So on May 19th, the alleged victim of Garum school violence released an official statement through their legal representative. In the statement they shared, the notice of school violence committee results were true. Kim Garum's school violence is also true. And then requested a sincere apology from Hybe, adding they would reveal more evidence if they did not receive one. Like some kind of hostage situation.
Basically.
On May 19th, Hybe announced that they would cancel all of Le Sserafim's schedules due to the controversy. The next day, Hybe released a lengthy statement. In summary, they explained the situation as the other girl, the girl essentially holding Hybe hostage for an apology, took a photo of a classmate who was changing at school and only wearing underwear at the time without permission and posted it publicly on social media under another friend's name. Garum and her friends, who got angry about this incident, confronted her, but there was no physical violence. These children are 12 at this point. The other girl admitted her wrongdoings but wasn't punished for her actions. Rather, she pointed out the classmates who had confronted her as the perpetrators, referred them to the school violence committee, and then transferred to another school. As a result, Garum and her friends were punished by the school violence committee. Hybe goes on to say Garum was also a victim of school violence and was harassed by other students. They go on to call out various rumors specifically and said they are untrue. For example, drinking, smoking, and hitting a friend on the head with a flower pot.
That one always gets me.
So specific. This is a very long statement. They admitted Garum was deeply reflecting on her immature actions from when she was 12 and would be taking a temporary halt to activities. Dear God. On May 21st, Hybe had to release another statement regarding the Degree 5 disciplinary actions, since those were only used in situations involving violence. Netizens were skeptical about this never-ending situation. Big Hit's statement read, as far as we were aware, school violence committees were held differently depending on the matter. The school and the district and the members, as they are not courts of law. At the time, Garm's mother believed that the school violence committee had made the decision that would help her daughter the most, and she did not appeal the decision. She now deeply regretting that she did not contest the degree of the school violence committee actions, but at the time she thought it was the best way to educate her daughter. On July 20th, Hybe Labels puts out a statement that they were terminating Garm's contract and she would leave the group. On August 10th, Garam puts out a statement on her friend's Instagram account, essentially saying that she's sorry, but that going on to then explain the same thing, defend herself against all the accusations, essentially re-explain the same situation about the girl, the photos, and all of that again, and saying that essentially this entire situation was out of hand. She did nothing wrong. And then lastly, in response to the statement, Hybe released a statement saying, due to the termination of Garam's contract, further comments are inappropriate, so there's nothing for us to say. So this was a roller coaster.
A whole
fucking roller coaster.
All
because of one petty bitch.
We have gone into this specifically on our Hybe episode about how this whole situation was absolute nonsense.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off the most about this situation that we didn't comment on here, Sammi, you did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Dissected this whole information.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of detail to it. I want to put that out there first. But
I had to look up the school
I know.
violence laws.
But I think
of
the
South
big thing that pisses me off the most is the fandom response. I'm mainly talking about
yeah.
like the international fandom response, but the Korean one too makes me so fucking enraged.
I think I want to give the nuance of Korean for their bullying in Korea is its own separate thing that honestly none of us can.
Very violent. Not to say it's not violent in the States, but it's very violent.
The culture of bullying and the violence that occurs that is also left almost in the U.S., if the violence that was occurring in South Korean bullying happened, kids would be in jail.
We would put kids in jail, basically.
And we do put kids in jail for stuff like that.
We do. Kids go to jail for
there's a very different culture of bullying there and here, especially. So people being in Korea being skeptical because again, the degree in which they charged her is far too high. A degree 5. That is something that you kind of do bat an eye at. It was explained on, and there is a reason for it. It probably just was, people trying to get away because these aren't courts of law. This is just a school doing whatever it's doing.
Yeah, it's a school trying to enact disciplinary action.
It's a school trying to enact discipline.
Yeah.
And again, I think that everything was just, sometimes paperwork gets put on the wrong thing. People make mistakes. So I don't know if I necessarily want to fully condemn it. I think it all went too far. I think it's too much. I think that, especially the international response, which is people that both, one, kind of want to demonize this girl for bullying, but also do not understand Korean bullying in any capacity.
And also they're cheering for the downfall of a child and trying to bully a child.
Also, there was also people who were looking for the downfall of Lee Seraphim as a group and just jumped on this as a reason as to why they're
I don't think I've ever felt so fucking mad and disappointed about a situation of how the fandom took it, which greatly disgusted me. And it's shit like this that doesn't make me ever want to as publicly sometimes associate with being a part of K-pop, because when you see behavior like that, it's people go, are you this? Are you this? And it's no.
The other thing I want to point out, and I don't think people often point out things, is just how young these kids are.
They're 12.
That's the reason I said that they were 12. Oftentimes, they just say middle schoolers. You cannot fully process how young a middle schooler is until you are just put in front of you that these kids are 12. Yeah. 12, 13 years old, about. When all of this was happening. So again, think of yourself as a 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah, and for context, I did have to deal with some bullying when I was 12 in 6th grade.
Not this kind of bullying.
Not this kind of bullying, but I did have to deal. So I can say firsthand that sometimes girls can be cruel, but goddamn, this is really shitty behavior from girls. The fact that you have this one alleged accuser who allegedly is the perpetrator, who's literally taking almost naked pictures of other minors and it's how many crimes are you committing, girl? And at the same time, your ass is so salty about this whole situation that you just wanted to plot a revenge story to take down this girl's career later on. It's what the fuck is up with you, girl? What do you think this was going to accomplish? What the fuck did this accomplish?
She got her kicked out of the group.
Yeah.
Like, she got what she wanted.
I guess, but it's like, how bitter of a how fucked up of a person are you?
Like, she's a terrible person, but like, she got exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
Somehow she won.
To bring this back to like the international response too, which is mostly what we're seeing of the situation too, because we are like international K-pop fans. It's like, I hate using this word specifically, but like K-pop fans as a general tend to be like fairly woke as a whole.
I hate the word woke. I really hate the word woke.
But I don't know what
only
other words
in like
to
very
use to
specific circumstances.
And so that's the thing, right?
Such
is I think
specific circumstances.
and especially because we've been doing so much like scandal coverage recently, I feel like because of that, the international fandoms go way too far with a lot of these issues like this, where it's like,
But
it is like just witch hunting people essentially, and it was like, yeah, I get it. You don't want you don't want to support like
a piece of shit, possibly a bad person. Yeah, I get that. But
people jump onto stuff way too fast, and I feel like go far too extreme in a lot of like.
And I hate to say it, I feel like this. I feel like this behavior has also like seeped into other mediums, not attached to K-pop. Like I see this in the cartoon fandom. I see this in anime fandom.
Yes,
hell, even recently with like any teen related or young adult related TV shows or movies or shit like that.
But we're not. But the thing with
it's very similar behavior.
Very specifically, this is also, I truly think, because they're rookies. If this was an established, like much like anything else, anything establishment, this was just an opportunity to take down someone at the beginning of their career. Anytime, if she had had any form of time to be able to become any form of established, if this came out like a year into her career, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, I think the response from HYBE would have been different.
Response from HYBE would have also.
The fandom response is probably similar, and I think that's just because the K-pop.
I mean,
if you take K-pop fans as a whole, it's so competitive. Just because and it's like when you think of K-pop stans, it's like a lot of people have a misunderstanding of it because they think of the K-pop fandom as a whole, but it's not at all. It's a bunch of like smaller. Like, and sometimes very
it's like fragmented
organized groups of people. So like because of the just very large, like the very large, like competitive nature of it, there are just other people who are out there waiting for anything to jump on for the downfall of another more popular group.
But also, I don't know what HYBE can change about their response. They gave this girl so many more chances than most other companies even would.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They tried so hard to keep this girl in the group, and none of it worked. And at some point, they were like, if it's just gonna destroy her career and the career of this whole group, like,
I do think that the only thing is like if that was like maybe like a 3-year-old group, then they have enough popularity. Maybe they're more confident in just leaving her there, but
that's more on the response side, because there would be far more defense if this was a more established group.
But
people would be like, well, that's not the person I've seen.
This happened literally before they even officially debuted.
When she
like
was
there was nothing else that they could have done about it.
No, absolutely not.
And also, like, the big thing at the end of the day is, like, you know, like, I think I said this too in like a previous episode, I'm trying to remember which one, but like it comes down to like, you know, K-pop fans, it's like you get pissy, you know, when companies don't defend our artists, especially if they didn't allegedly do anything wrong, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people have a big fucking shit show over a company actually trying to defend an artist, and it's like, well, you can't have your cake and eat. Like, what do you want it as? Like, fandoms, what the fuck do you want this as? Do you want them to actually be tell the truth, or attempt to support their artists, or do you like not want them to do that? Like, what the fuck do you want?
And it's like, I feel like people change their mind on that every hour of the day. Like,
yeah, this was just overall a very disappointing situation, honestly.
And if you want to hear us go on about it for another, like, 10 more minutes, go watch our HYBE review.
Yep, it's in there.
Because we go on for that for a very long time.
We do.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations that just, like, pisses me off. Like, this was probably the one situation this year that thoroughly pissed me off the most.
There's one situation that pisses me off more.
Maybe there's one other situation, but this one got me the most, I feel like, personally.
Not that we're comparing trauma of different people, but there's a few on here.
At least for the fandom stuff, this one for sure pissed me off the most.
So next is one that I didn't put on another random thing I was keeping track of because I don't know what it means. So on April 8th, for EXO's 10th anniversary, Lay posted a handwritten letter announcing his departure from SM Entertainment. I don't know if that means he's leaving EXO, considering Lay hasn't really been in EXO in like 5 years. So, yes, I know he was in that one music video. He was CGI'd in.
Knowing SM Entertainment, I don't think they're going to let him back in EXO not being in SM Entertainment. Other companies
they're not
going to
CGI him
SM
into
Entertainment will not stand for that, like, at all.
Again, that's fair, but he never technically announced he was out of EXO, but also he hasn't really been in EXO except for... What was he in? He was just in
Was he like a hologram or something in one?
No, he was in Don't Fight the Feeling as like a CGI'd in.
Yeah.
But I think that's what everything he's been in for like the last like 5 or 6 years. So that happened.
Mm-hmm. So who knows what's happening there?
Yes, this is the last April story, which barely counts, I think.
Kind of, but
Just a fun scandal.
We have a BTS
fun.
scandal question mark? But yeah, but basically, BTS's Jimin, his apartment was seized. So on April 24th, a Korean news outlet reported that the National Health Insurance Service of South Korea had seized Jimin's $4.7 million apartment due to the singer not paying his health insurance. According to the report, Jimin received 4 separate notices about the seizure by registered mail during that time that his apartment was temporarily seized. And the seizure was ultimately lifted on April 22nd. How does that work? April 20... Oh, no, wait. Okay, the news outlet reported that. Never mind. Ultimately lifted on April 22nd after he was after he paid the overdue health insurance premiums. Later that evening, Big Hit responded with a statement explaining that the situation had been caused by an error at the company. Quote, due to Jimin's activities abroad starting at the end of last year, his extended period of rest, and his scheduled activities abroad after that, he was unaware of matters such as his premiums being overdue. As soon as he found out, he paid the arrears? How do you say that? Arrears? He paid the fines. We'll say he paid the fines in full. At present, the situation has been resolved. So yeah, Jamin was, for whatever reason, he didn't receive notice or the mail that his health insurance
dues. This definitely was just going to someone he was paying. Again, much like all rich people, the person he was paying
definitely went to like a manager or something. Yeah.
His manager didn't do it. Jimin's not getting his own mail.
Mm-hmm. Whoever was supposed to take care of Jimin's mail didn't take care of Jimin's mail. Or at least the health insurance mail.
Didn't pay his apartment premiums.
Yeah.
Didn't pay his apartment premiums. You gotta thrive. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's rich people shit.
Rich people problems,
He now gotta find a new manager to do all his, management.
Or a new accountant. A better accountant to track his stuff.
May.
So there's only 2 things that happened in May, neither of them very important. So...
Nope.
First one, Astro fans prank called MJ's military base, and Fantasia Entertainment had to put out a statement asking them to stop doing that, because why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? Leave them alone.
It's like, I get it, but like prank calling a military base under any situation, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, no, like that, it's the military, dude. They take shit like that seriously. Yeah. Like, same thing with prank calling 911. Like, that's just shit that you should know you just don't do.
It's like, why? Like, why
you just don't
did you
do
think
that?
That was a good idea, and that anyone would find that funny. Like, no, stop it. Second one is BTS went to the White House and met with President Joe Biden for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And they had a discussion about Asian inclusion, representation, diversity, as well as addressing anti-Asian hate crimes and discrimination. So that's
it was
fun.
met with the same right-wing racism as you would expect.
Yep. There's a very fun picture of BTS with Joe Biden that exists now.
It's a very fun picture. BTS just in the White House is just It looks like a photoshopped image.
It does. It
It
does.
just the thing with this stuff is just to me. I just always I'm just like, okay, this is like a political PR thing to be like, hey, fellow kids, look at how cool I am with the latest pop stars. Vote for me. That's what it's giving, you know, and that's why I don't usually.
I think
like
it's fun.
And also on BTS's end, it's more so they're being used as, let's be honest here, they're being used as soft power puppets from South Korea that still instill good relations with the states. Like that's what this is, you know what I mean? It's that's what I see it as. So like it's like, okay, good, you're being nice, but at the same time I see it for what it is. And it's like, all right, you just do the thing and you move on.
How is that any different than anything else going on? There's nothing inherently wrong with that, I don't think.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong, but it's just one of those
thrive.
I'm just like, I'm not like wowed by it, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those where it's like, all right, I see, you're doing
Look, I needed to enlist some fun in here, Maria, okay?
The photo particularly is just very
You
funny
want
to me.
you want to do the next story then? The next story's not fun.
Hey, you assign that one to yourself. You assign that one to yourself.
Hey, you get some not fun ones too.
I do. I know I don't get
Chris
some fun
Wu,
ones.
Chris Wu. I truly could have just not put this in here because he's technically not a K-pop idol anymore. But
Yeah, no.
I
We
thought
did
I'd tell
talk
the
about
people.
Chris Wu.
Yeah.
So on June
here we
10th,
go.
the People's Court of Beijing District released a statement saying that they'd begun proceeding on the Chris Wu rape and group lasciviousness charge in November.
The fuck does that mean? I'm sorry, but
I will explain it to you in 1 second. In November, the sentence was handed down. Chris was found guilty of raping 3 women in 2020, was sentenced to 11 years and 6 months.
Ugh.
He got an additional year and 10 months for the crime of assembling a crowd to engage in sexual promiscuity. This is from an incident in July of 2018 where he and others assaulted 2 women who were also drunk. It is not an orgy. It was like a group rape.
Oh,
boy.
Jesus.
Like, it was, like, a lot of people were like, oh, group lasciviousness, it was an orgy. It was not.
Oh, God.
It was yeah. After serving his 13 years in prison, he will be immediately deported to Canada. The tax bureau also announced that Chris is ordered to pay 600 million yuan, about $83 million, for tax-related offenses, including housing personal income. Authorities stated that between 2019 and 2020, Chris evaded taxes on 95 million won, about $13 million, and underpaid taxes of about 84 million won, about $11 million. This just seems like, hey, we got this guy on rape charges. Let's also check his taxes. Let's also audit him. Let's also just audit him while we're here. Which, again, celebrities evading taxes in China is actually a very, very common problem. What they will do is that you make one contract on the books that you pay money on, and then you get paid under the table your other fee. And that money is supposedly tax-free. That's a very common thing. And that's how, like, all these Chinese celebrities are able to just have these, like, super, like, big tax bills. It's because they're getting paid double paid.
Oh, jeez. That's insane.
So Chris,
but like, is that just a way for them to also try to funnel money out so they can put in like an offshore account potentially?
Probably
and get away
not.
from the government's hands?
No, it's just so they don't have to pay taxes on it. It's what all celebrities do. It's just in China they do it this very specific way, and then sometimes the authorities bust them, and then they have this amazingly, massively high tax bill, $11 million. That's just underpaying his taxes too.
Yeah, 11 plus 13 million. That's like 24 million.
Off to Canada.
And then he will be deported to Canada.
Because technically he transferred his citizenship to Canada. He became a Canadian citizen.
You cannot have dual citizenship in China. You have to pick one. And also, Chris will be deported to Canada as a convicted felon.
Yep.
That's it.
That's fun.
We're moving on. I don't want to talk about Chris Wu ever again in my life.
Nope. He's going to be in prison for 13 years.
So for 13 years, so we won't hear about him ever.
Yeah, his career, if you haven't guessed by now, I'd say it's effectively dead.
His career was over the seconds he went to jail. He's been in jail for like a year.
I mean, if anyone had questions, I think this further confirms that it's effectively very dead in the ground.
13 years deported to Canada as a felon, like... Not looking great for you, my friend.
Chris Wu is a convicted rapist. Yep. Like, I truly think it's over.
And I think I remember seeing videos of people crying over him after he left EXO.
Again, no one knew at the time.
No one did know. No one did know, to be fair. But it's like, wow, have we come more disappointingly far.
One can only make choices based on the information available at the time.
True. But yeah, this may be one of the few cases maybe SM should be happy that he left, because that would have been a PR disaster to deal with. on their end, but yeah.
They got enough of their own problems to deal with.
Yeah. But anyways, something less depressing, but one could argue still kind of weird and sad as well.
It's just weird.
It's
weird.
The most
Super
it's the
weird.
weirdest
Well, for some
thing that
people, if they
happened
care about
here, I
certain
think.
people in the group, it's
just
kind of sad,
weird.
but...
No, I don't think even if you don't
it's
care
not-
about the group, it's just
weird.
a weird thing.
It's just a very weird situation that happened.
No, fair enough. So, Tier 1 member changes. So, on June 17th, Wake One Entertainment announced that members Minsu, Jerome, and Ungi would all be leaving the group, Tier 1. And Shihoon had also left less than a month before this announcement. And then three new members were going to be added to the group. Yeojeon, Daigo, and Retna. Why they name a kid Retna? I'm sorry.
I think it's Renta.
He's
Okay,
Japanese.
sorry. Renta. Correction, Renta. But I write it as Retna. Anyways, the later two, Daigo and Renta. Okay, Daigo, Renta. Those two have been contestants on Produce 101 Japan Season 2.
And then Jerome and Woongi are going to be on Boys Planet 999. Or are
Okay.
on Boys Planet 999. By the time this comes out, that'll be airing, probably.
So it's all coming full circle, basically.
Yeah, sorry. I misread that.
So the thing that's weird about this is that the public
Why?
consensus is that Minsu, Jerome, Woongi, and Shihoon were kicked out of the group because they're too gay. And I don't know
What is
why
that?
that's the
Well,
public
gay in
consensus.
quotes,
What
because
does
we don't
that
actually know if
mean?
they're gay. But like the
But no,
perception.
But,
it's
like, what does that
absolutely
mean?
wild to me that is just the public consensus. That, like,
accepted
yeah, that's why
consensus.
they got kicked
Or-
out. And I'm like, there
What
is
does it mean?
zero evidence that that's the case.
Like,
and it's
do we know
wild.
why?
Like,
Did
it
Wake
is
One say
absolutely
something
wild.
officially?
No,
That
no one said anything.
No.
one
Okay.
has said anything. Maybe Boys Planet will give us
But the way
a
that show is
bullsh-
looking, so.
the way that
did,
show.
did they
maybe
say
Boys
anything
Planet
about
will tell
changing
us anything.
concepts or anything for the
They
group? Like,
no.
Okay.
Also, the group hasn't really.
The group
they've
has
had
not
a comeback
changed
since.
concepts
It hasn't changed
even a little bit. They have-
Weird. Okay.
They could have been doing this music with those four members who left. Like, no problem.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Everything is the same.
It's just
weird.
It's very weird that is. I think that's the international fan consensus, and that is just like agreed upon that that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but why? How did
I don't
it's
know.
like why? But why? It
What are
Yeah,
we doing?
it's like
Why?
interesting because we're
But
just
also-
assuming that they are gay without
Who's
any
to
proof
say?
or evidence, possibly hinting towards that.
Who's to say?
That's
But
weird.
also, like, what's going on with this group has also been through too much already.
they've gone through a
Mm.
lot.
But support Woongi on Boys Planet.
And Jerome,
Kayla and I are on there, and Jerome. But also we're
here
Woongi.
mostly for Woongi, but you
We're
know,
here for
Jerome is
Woongi.
there
We
too.
hope I would be very happy for Jerome, but like Woongi, baby,
Yes.
you make it into the group.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess to continue on with that, we got some disbandments because we made it to the middle of the year. We got to talk about some disbandments.
So the disbandments, official disbandments. I did not include groups where just every member left the company. Those are unofficial disbandments. So official disbandments are April, Tracing, We Girls, Hot Issue, CLC, finally, Lunar Solar, Grayish, Newest, Bling Bling, Girl Kind, Bodo Pass, Daya, D-Crunch, and Bugaboo. All of these
Dia
are
died.
mostly-
It happened.
Daya finally.
Daya died.
I thought
Finally.
Daya was going to disband like every year. They
Years
were
ago.
together. Every year.
I'm
year.
surprised it honestly took them this long. Really, truly surprised.
CLC finally disbanded because I thought that group was disbanding.
Bodo
I mean,
Pass and
Yoonjin
Lunar
didn't have to
Solar
officially
both
say
lasted a
it.
full
Yeah.
year. Lunar Solar and Bodo Pass are both like less than a year old.
Yep.
And that
Good.
disbanded both of them.
The only one on here that I'm like finally just met a graceful end was Newest.
Yeah. I was like, that's just like a nice like end of career disbandment. Like, sure.
Like, congratulations, we had a good run.
Yeah.
So now we're on to July. So the beginning of July, Jesse leaves P Nation.
Cool.
Well, put a pin in people leaving P Nation
Yeah,
too.
that's gonna continue to keep happening over the rest of the year. But anyway, so we then have former Momo Man Lumber claim she was fired.
This is kind of juicy, not gonna
This
lie.
is just like this
The
is
petty.
Just tea.
So
This is
tea,
petty-
so much
we got
tea,
some
so much petty.
Momo Land tea. So on a TikTok live,
Definitely.
former Momo Man member Daisy expressed frustration at the common misconception that she voluntarily left Momo Land. She stated in English, "For the love of God, I did not leave. I was fired." She went on to say that she has made peace with the situation. I don't think she has, if we're gonna be perfectly honest.
I really don't
here.
think so.
When fans ask why she says she was fired, she says, "Cause I don't know either. Like, if I knew, I would have probably unfired myself."
I don't think that's how getting fired works. That's not how you get fired.
That's not how that works. But sure,
Daisy, I see what you're trying to get, Daisy, but like piss poor
wild
execution.
person generally.
Daisy's.
It's sometimes like one of the K-pop discords I'm in will just tweet, like, we'll share tweets from Daisy, and I'm just like, what's going on, my friend? Like, truly.
Yep.
So Daisy was a part of Momoland from debut in 2016 until March of 2019, when MLD stated she was on hiatus but would return the next comeback, and she never returned. At the time, MLD was also dealing with the rumor that Daisy was dating icon Young.
A choice. The weirdest dating rumor I've heard in a while.
And then in January 2020, Daisy revealed in an interview that it was MLD that refused to let her resume promotions with Momoland, but when she attempted to terminate her contract with the agency, they demanded she pay a large penalty for breach of contract. It doesn't really seem like she was fired. She wanted to break her contract. Also, I'm gonna put that out there.
Leave at some point.
Yeah,
it sounds like beforehand they refused to let her go back, but then they wouldn't let her leave. Yeah.
Right.
So
but
just
they had to fire her
and don't do anything
separately.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. Just
wild.
I remember, it's funny because I remember watching lives of her and Nancy and like Aaron, because they were like the 3 English speaking members. They did lives, I think, on Facebook back in the day.
God,
I forget she was a debut member though. I thought she joined like a little bit later.
I think she joined in 2017 actually. I think she was one of those people that got added because Momoland was a survival show group, and if I remember, she didn't make that group, and then they added her later.
Oh, it was 2017.
So yeah, she got added in 2017.
The article was wrong, but also Momoland is a Ship of Theseus style group. Again, trust me. There's a lot of those groups in a lot of especially groups from like small companies, they become Ship of Theseus groups, which is at what point is this group
no longer the group
ship?
It started at?
Yeah.
At what point did we just make a new boat? All right.
Pretty much.
So now we get to what I called the Street Man Fighter Saga, because that show was wild.
The only good thing about that show was a couple songs they released for the dancing segments, and that's it.
And also,
the rest of it's messy.
Was wild.
Toxic
the rest of it's messy as fuck.
Being honest, like that show was a lot. So, in July,
God, it shows awful.
King Daniel, the host of Street Woman Fighter, Street Dance Girls Fighter, and Street Man Fighter, because this needs to be a series.
So many.
Had to put out an Instagram apology, the most sincere of apologies every time,
of course,
regarding comments he made on the private messages on Universe, the most used site apparently. When he was asked about Street Man Fighter, he said, "To be honest, I feel really comfortable because they're all men. I'm happy it's not energy draining. Here is the thing. This is terrible phrasing."
Yes.
It's terrible phrasing, but I get where he's coming from, though. I understand.
Not an inherently bad thing to say.
It is not
piss poor phrasing, but I get where he's coming from.
It is the worst phrasing imaginable because it's the phrasing
energy
makes
draining.
it sound
I'm
so
like,
bad.
Maybe we could have said a different.
Yeah, I understand the sentiment.
I think what he was trying to get at most likely was that he had to be more on guard, because when it comes to like someone like him interacting with women, it probably gets like weird in public forums and people speculate. And it's probably that with guys, he probably feels a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah,
and to be fair, if you're talking with someone the same like gender as you, it's a little more easier to feel comfortable and stuff like that. So I think that's what he was trying to get at.
A lot of South Korean like cultural things to begin with. So it's like the phrasing
and also
bad,
you
but like not
you gotta
bad to say.
like especially if you are the host of all of these shows.
Yeah.
You the phrasing gotta be on point.
Exactly.
Here's even worse phrasing. On August 23rd, during a press conference for the show, chief producer Kwang Young Chan, when comparing this season to the previous female version, stated, "If there was jealousy and greed in the survival program for female dancers, I think the male dancers show us a lot of loyalty and pride."
No.
Worse phrasing. Infinitely worse. Mnet put out a generic apology about how this does not align with Mnet's values, and they will work harder in the future. Blah, 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 blah. Worst phrasing.
Mnet's like, we're going to throw your ass under the bus. We don't care.
But also, this fire him. Nothing
Toxic
happened to
Masculinity, the TV show, also. It was awful. It was awful to watch.
If you mean loyalty to your own dance crew, then I guess, but that's about it.
Hey, if you want toxic masculinity, just wait for the next one.
The worst of South Korean toxic masculinity is probably exemplified in this show. And you can tell a lot of these dancers were not put through media training because holy shit.
They're not.
Holy shit. True.
Why would they?
But still, it's like...
Speaking of toxic masculinity, YGX dancer Park Hyung-si, who was appearing on the show, he appeared in an Instagram video along with the YGX and another dance crew, Loyal Chumps, where they danced to rookie girl group New Jeans' song Hype Boy. They came under fire since many perceived the video as mocking and offensive. The title of it... It is. They were correct. The title of the video, which used a pun combining New Jeans' group name with the Korean slang word
Nujingda. Yeah.
Jingda, means loser/outcast, which essentially reads as New Jeans' debut was a fail. Essentially a slang term that will do that. The video was deleted, and he put out an apology stating that he denied having any intention of mocking either New Jeans or the choreographer for Hype Boy, Black Q, who was also appearing on the show.
Man.
He explained that the title of the video was a reference to the 4 dancers in the group. Bullshit.
No.
I think another thing to point is that the group that I think is this the Ode group or that Black Q's a part of?
No.
Or is this different?
Oh, Black Q, yes. Yes. I think
he is.
So that group I know was also...
That group got
shit on so badly, treated terribly.
Every single person on this show, yeah.
I guess they were perceived to be, quote unquote, all of them were perceived to be gay in that
It's because
group,
they do a lot
crew?
of female choreography.
I mean, they...
Oh my god,
they are the choreographers for Hype Boy, yeah.
Episode 0 is just
they have an
full
episode
of
0.
every single other group calling them disgusting. Like, it is terrible.
Again, this show was toxic masculinity, the show. I'm only specifically also talking about shit that happened that involved people outside of the show. I could make another hour video about shit that happened in the show.
I feel like someone has had to at this point. Someone must have had to. I hope
that would mean someone would have had to sit through the whole thing, and that sounds exhausting.
That does, but it'd be better if you just watched that.
Episode 0, and I was like, this is enough. I've seen what I need to see of the show, and that was
I've
enough.
only seen clips, and I saw what I needed to see, because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is just things that I was able to get from that involved people outside of the show. That involved
truly something else.
Things inside of the show was just a choice. So, another thing that happened, the second 80s plagiarism scandal of the year.
Jesus.
A weird thing.
Apparently, everyone's obsessed with plagiarizing 80s. Apparently.
So, Vata, the leader of We Dem Boys dance crew, was accused of plagiarizing 80s' choreography. On the show, the crew leaders had a challenge where they had to come up with an original choreo to Zico Song's New Thing. Vata's choreo won the challenge, and since then, the New Thing challenge, which is everyone's seen all over, like, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere.
It blew up. It became super
trend.
Crazy popular. Yeah.
And many artists attempted the choreo. However, many people quickly noticed that the beginning of that choreo is similar to the main dance of ATEEZ's 2019 song, Say My Name. One of the 3 choreographers of Say My Name, oh god, I'm so sorry.
Screwbay?
Screwbay?
We're gonna say Screwbay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Actually spoke out about the controversy, stating, "This looks like ATEEZ's Say My Name challenge. Original choreography was made by Josh Smith, Johnny
Erasme? We're gonna go with
and
that.
myself. Apologies to everyone involved. The particular gliding move was made by Josh Smith, as it seems that Vata was personally acquainted with ATEEZ member San and follows choreographers Josh Smith and Johnny Me on Instagram, many believed it was unlikely he would not have been aware of the similarities between the AT's choreo and his own. The controversy grew, and on October 14th, Vata made a statement on Instagram. The statement states that the music made him think of the wilderness, and he created an intro choreo that depicted arriving on a motorcycle or horseback, and that is why he used that motion into the intro as a way to depict the starting of an engine. Only one of those two things has an engine. A horse does not. He states that the intent and connections between movements on both of these choreos are different. He states he apologizes to the viewers of Street Man Fighter for causing controversy.
Oh, man.
What the hell is happening?
I really don't know.
This whole show just
I'm exhausted of this show. So now...
It's like the gift that, it's like trash. It's the gift of trash that keeps on giving.
This is the most trashy Korean.
This is literally the most dramatic season
Truly.
ever
It's
of an
amazing.
Mnet
This
show.
one feels like American television.
It does feel like an American trash shitty reality competition, because my god, is this a disaster of a show.
Wild times.
It's such a mess. God.
This one's just stupidity at its finest. So this isn't
Not
a
done
scandal.
yet.
It just adds to the shit show. So on November 8th, during the finale, King Daniel thanked the sponsors of the program, Trevi Sparkling Water. The issue is that Street Man Fighter is sponsored by Seagram Sparkling Water, the competitor brand. He thanked the competitor brand. King Daniel, what is going on?
Oh boy.
No cue cards. Nothing.
They should give him a cue card.
Then again, do you need... I don't think a normal person would really need a cue card to remember, hey, do not thank the competitor sparkling water
The
company.
competitor, sponsor of the show.
No, I mean just list the sponsored company on the cue card or something.
Maybe they thought he could remember it. You know, it was a bad idea, but dear God, King Daniel,
I think he just spoke into existence what he really wanted at the moment, and clearly he wanted Trevi.
Again, he wanted the other sparkling water.
Likes the other one better.
Yeah, apparently the other one's better.
I don't know. I don't take that as fact. That's just a dumb of theory.
Who's to say? So, also, in July, 2 p.m.'s Chang Sung became a father. Congratulations on you and your first child.
Woo.
Hooray, another child.
Woo. I'd just like to congratulate people's families.
Yes.
In this. You gotta, it's the next generation. Thrive.
All right.
So now it's
August was a
August.
fun time, apparently. But yeah. All right, time for the second hype scandal of the year. The New Jeans cookie lyric saga.
It's also kind of the second New Jeans scandal of the year. With the Street Man Fighter of it all.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
Well, indirectly tied to them, though, kind of. But it wasn't caused by them or like Hyde itself.
But they were involved. Again, if ATEEZ gets two indirect scandals through no fault of their
Fair.
own, so does New Jeans.
But this is like their first like true scandal.
Yeah.
So basically, on August 1st, New Jeans, the newest rookie girl group under Hybe at the time, under the Hybe subsidiary Adore, released their song Cookie, and subsequently, I think right after that, their debut EP. And the internet was ablaze with opinions about the questionable lyrics, particularly the international community at first. Fans point out that it was not an appropriate a song for minors to sing due to a lot of the sexual connotations, and I did notice those as well, personally. And then on August 27th, actually, I think this was after a certain video in Korean blew up going into the lyrics and why internationally people were kind of sus about them. Adore then released a statement regarding the controversy. And the statement, oh God, I saw it on their website. It is very long and a very detailed explanation
It's so long.
of all the creative decisions.
Look, having
And
had
that
to
went to
read
all New
almost
Jeans.
every single Hybe statement that they released this year, and dear God, did they release a lot this year. All of
They
Hybe's
really love
statements
writing
are
essays,
so
I'll tell you that.
long.
There's
The
the essays.
Hybe likes to contest things that they have not even been accused. They're like, this is why we didn't do anything wrong. Point A, point B. It is as if we are they are defending themselves in a court of law.
No, it looks like
You
a
can
freaking
use this in
PhD
a court
thesis
of law.
paper statement.
It is,
It's like,
but
Jesus.
it reads like a law. Like it reads like
It
a law
does.
defense.
Yeah.
It reads like a fucking law defense because it's like point by point by point. It is, to be honest, I'll give them this. It is clear. It is long but concise of just point. They do not go in, they don't, go into like flowery language. They're just long and have too many facts.
Yes.
So many
Yeah.
facts.
Pretty
All
much.
of the facts. So, hi.
But it's,
Love
yeah.
it. You give me all the information in one statement, but dear God, is it an essay?
God, it's an essay.
It's a slog to get through.
But yeah,
because they're
so-
dense.
They state that, that's to summarize this whole fucking essay and thesis
God, was that
dissertation at this
hard.
point. They state that the underlying message of the song was intended to be the value of New Jeans' attempt to make new and original music. The team did take issue with the lyrics of Cookie since the vision for original and wholesome music what was intended, and these types of slang terms were not familiar to them. The statement goes on to say, quote, "The lyrics to Cookie were written by two native English speakers, a Korean woman and a Swedish woman in their 30s. The song was also translated by a bilingual Korean woman. Given how sure we were in our vision, everyone was stunned when the issue arose," end quote. They stated that they consulted English professors, interpreters, translators, and native speakers about this issue, who suggested it isn't a commonplace interpretation, and they themselves were unfamiliar with it. I think this is more so talking about the how Cookie is a slang term for vagina, which this was the first time I heard of that too. Just letting you know.
I have not.
I
heard
think
that,
people made it
I
up
have
after
only-
they heard the
Yeah.
song, to be honest.
A lot.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard it as what a Midwestern mother who does not want to explain anything to their very young child uses.
I mean, coming
Like,
from
that
my
is- it
opinion,
is-
I
it
mean,
is
I'll
a
explain more at the end
person-
of this,
that
but
is very specific to, I think, certain people. It is not a commonplace phrase.
I think it's more
is-
so people drew that conclusion based off of like context clues of the rest of the lyrics.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
that point.
yeah, and that's really what got me too. Before we
Yeah.
get back into this, that the rest of it was the other lyrics to me that kind of was like,
yeah.
this would be great for someone like, say, which is funny because they did end up covering it, Sumin and Beepy, who are great artists, by the way, you should
But,
check
like,
them out, but
grown-
they're adults.
grown
They
adults,
sounded
yeah.
fantastic. They're adults. This sounds great. A great song for them. The problem is the fact that the youngest member still, I think, is like 14 or 15. So it's like in multiple of the, and they're, at the time, they were all technically considered to be minors in Korea, even though two of them were like, I think, no, actually only one of them was technically 18 at the time. The age of adulthood in Korea is 19. So they're technically all considered minors at this point, which is why people were very concerned about all this. But anyways, to wrap it up, the statement goes on to talk about the reaction to the song and to apologize for anyone who was uncomfortable with the song. I also think this statement, though, also did address the, did it kind of lightly address the concerns for New Jeans being in the
Not
stuff against
particu-
Min Hee-jin? If I'm not mistaken.
I think that's
not this
different.
statement, not really.
I think
They
Not
the
this
use
statement.
Min of it all is a
the Min
completely
Hee-jin is a
separate
different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't
Yeah.
really touch on it. Besides the fact that they were like,
The
they
Min
acknowledged that
Hee-jin
people were
of-
concerned about the girls' safety. I think was all
They were.
that.
This is very specifically about the song.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did not address any of the rest of that in this
Okay.
statement.
I feel like the Min Hee-jin as a person thing is like a whole other
I
complicated
didn't
problem.
bring that up
is,
in
like,
this because that just
who
was a
even
whole
knows
other
what's going
thing.
on there?
That was an entirely other thing that I
Yep.
didn't get into.
Yeah, because that was all centered around like an Instagram post that people
Yeah,
were
I'm
like,
not
"Oh
getting-
my
There's
god."
there's not a lot of like factual evidence.
Yeah,
you can
that's
even
why I
pull
didn't
out
get
for
into
that.
any of
yeah.
that. I'm like, that's really
It's
just
like an
going
entirely
into...
speculation.
I would have had to fucking
that
quote
point.
people's tweets about it, and I'm
Yeah.
not fucking doing that.
We're
That's
not
my
about to
life.
like make this very heavily research based episode quote like a Twitter thread. Like that's not what we're about here.
No, we're not.
Nope, we're not doing that. I'm not. I refuse. I have too much integrity
Yep.
in this. This took too many hours of my life to diminish it with that. The one thing I'll give it, it seems like a lapse in judgment,
It does.
and they
Yeah.
they don't perform this song
they don't.
ever anymore.
No.
Well,
It's going to be.
that's kind of a lie. They still have from time to time, but they just don't do it as frequently.
And also,
Say,
they
for
don't-
example,
They
there are other.
use it in a medley. They do not perform it on its own, really.
And I feel like their other songs are way more popular to begin with. It's like Attention and Hype Boy were really what were the chart toppers, and then especially with Ditto and Oh My God, who are also like very
But the other thing
popular.
with it is that
they're never gonna go back to Cook. There's no reason for them to ever go back to Cookie again.
Until they all, like, I don't know, get older, and then they're like, we're gonna perform it now that we're all adults, which will be, like, several years down the line.
I don't even think they're going to.
Yeah.
I think that just brings it back. I think if they do something like it, it's a new song.
Yeah. It might just
because
get forgotten.
I think overall, specifically Hype Boy, I think will be the song, especially from their debut era, that they continue to perform till they're, you know, till they're like the oldest K-pop.
Yeah, Hype Boy and Attention, I feel like they're gonna go back to, especially Hype Boy.
Going. Yeah, I think Hype Boy is the real big one that's gonna stick around forever. I also think that at this point, even with the fact that there's a scandal, Cookie, people still love Cookie. We've seen it.
Like, here's the thing, production-wise, I know the producer for that is Frank, and he's a really good producer, and I really love the production for that. It's really the lyrics that kill it for me, really.
Yeah,
but even with the lyrics,
people get over the lyrics. People get like, we don't particularly care for the song anyway. I think personally for me, I like Hype Boy and Attention.
Yeah, Attention, I just like both of those more to begin with.
I just like both of them more as a song, even taking out the lyrics.
Yeah.
But overall, looking at it, people have kind of gotten over it. I've seen Cookie make so many people's favorite songs of the year. Like, people have sort of... It was a big scandal at the time, and I think the response was good, but it's really...
Like, people don't care anymore, really.
No one cared.
People got over it, yeah.
People got over
they got
it
distracted
real
by
fast.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
that's the truth.
Or they kind of didn't care to begin with. Like, truly.
I feel like people jumped on the Cookie thing specifically because the Minhee Jin stuff was already happening. And I think that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, and then nothing kind of came out of anything, and so everyone just moved on.
Everyone just moved on and forgot about it.
Cookie, apparently, we all love Cookie.
Yeah.
Sure. Honestly, I think every other New Jeans, other than the ballad. I like every other New Jeans song more. And
it's funny, all the four
they have a ballad.
Yeah, all the even oh my god, or OMG and Ditto are
that
great.
That song really is just growing on me.
Really
OMG is so fun.
It's probably
that music video is something. I'm like, oh god, they have.
You know what?
Now.
I don't watch the New Jeans music videos, if we're being honest.
Look, they're a lot.
I have spammed the shit out of Ditto. Oh my god, I can't even tell you how much I spammed the shit out of Ditto. Like,
the unhinged,
it's ridiculous.
Oh my god, edits on TikTok are really bring me a lot of joy.
Absolutely love
They're
it.
very fun.
I saw one today that was Kermit.
Oh, fun.
Oh god.
I saw one today that was Kermit.
Okay, I definitely seen a video
Kermit.
of like Drake singing "Oh my god," but like not literally. Someone stitched it.
No, there's a very specific edit that people do right now.
There's a very specific edit. There's a template for it on TikTok. Yes. I think you just put in the pictures and it makes it.
And then it makes it. Yeah.
I've seen everything from
Here's
Barack
your K-pop boy on there.
Thomas Jefferson.
Oh my god!
I've got whoever's
dogs.
Perry the Platypus's boss from Phineas and Ferb. I've seen that guy get an edit for it.
No.
Again, I saw Kermit today. Kermit,
my god!
Like people's personal
people
dogs.
Like I got like D&D podcasters on there. Like I've gotten so many. I
absolutely love that edit. It's
also all the Korean food blog places, anything related to Korea, now just playing New Jeans music in the background of the Instagram videos.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes,
I love to see it.
I also get it as a background
Yeah, I also
song.
get that. Look, Thrive New Jeans.
Thriving.
They're the new It girls.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what they bring us this year, honestly. They're
the new It girls, replacing the old It girls from a year ago, who replaced the old It girls from 2 years ago.
I guess, yeah.
Just saying.
All right, anyways, but not everything can be sunshine and rainbows.
Moving on in August, we got the Luna Tour shit show of a tour.
This is specifically the Luna Tour shit show. We will get to the other shit show later.
This is specifically the World Tour because
the beginning of the end, I guess, because God, this was a precursor.
It was a lot.
Truly, something bad happened at every stop of this tour, and it is honestly
someone else kept track.
It's honestly wild that this was allowed to happen. So. Detail number one that we're gonna put a pin into and come back to later. Choose doesn't participate in the tour at all due to issues with the company. Gonna get back to that later.
Yeah.
Pin in that. We'll be back later.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off in San Francisco. They had technical issues, extreme heat, low oxygen levels, and lack of water, which affected both Luna and the actual attendees of that concert. Not great. And that would have been just like a fine thing if that was the only thing that happened on the tour, but we're gonna get progressively worse the longer into this tour we go. So, in Chicago, Kim Lip leaves the stage mid-show frustrated due to attendees chanting over her, and she does not return.
I think they were chanting about Vivi in particular for some reason.
They
were basically being kind of rude.
Essentially what happened...
The fans were being rude a little bit.
Essentially what happened, because I had to watch a bunch of videos about this. So what happened was Vivi was... It was that time in every concert where they all stand in the line and talk for a while.
Yeah.
That part of the concert. So Vivi was right before Kim Lip. So she stops talking and hands the mic over to Kim Lip to talk. But people are still chanting for her because she had just finished talking. And so it just probably went on for way too long.
But, like, I think it was noticeably different compared to everyone else, though.
I don't know.
This is also probably the problem that, like, concert crowds are awful because we're coming right out of a pandemic where all these people who have gone to concerts for the first time don't know how to behave in public.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I went to Sammi in 2019, and there was some piss poor behavior, too. They were shouting shit at her, trying to demand her to do stuff in 2019. So I think this was a little bit of a precursor to that.
Worse now.
I personally think it started before that, but I think it got worse.
Coming out of a pandemic where people haven't been in concerts in public, even just like in public for years now, it's like I think it's even worse now.
Yeah, I think it's worse now.
But
I definitely saw
about
it
like most K-pop concerts that happen in the U.S. too. It's like something is wrong happening with the crowd of people not knowing how to.
It's like it's like K-pop fans need to know how to act in public.
Here's the thing: I don't think we can even just say this is K-pop fans. This is
concerts,
all concerts
generally.
Other concerts too. For some reason, like these idiots are just acting like, oh, look at me trying to get attention during the concert. It's like, bitch, you're there to watch the artist perform at the concert. It's not about your ass, besides the fact that you gave him money. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why you... I hate... It's, like, so obnoxious to me. It's, like, such, like, a little pick-me, like, let me have my stupid moment for the TikTok. It's like, shut up. If you're gonna not watch the concert, then fucking leave, then. Like, honestly. Anyways, continue.
So after Chicago and Louisville, Chori does not participate in the concert or the meet and greet. The touring company MMT announces that prior. In Washington, D.C., Jinsol does not participate in the show or the meet and greet. The company announces it prior. In New York, Yeojin leaves the stage early, returns for the anniversary celebration, but has to be aided by the other members. In KCON, Chori does not participate again. In Atlanta, Yeojin leaves the stage early again. In Dallas, Olivia leaves the stage early and then is sitting for some portion of it. In Houston, Olivia leaves the stage early again due to hip pain, and she does not return. Chori is out again, and Eves apparently struggles both physically and emotionally during the concert.
I want to know how we know she's struggling.
I don't know how we figured that out.
How do we know that? Physically,
did they like show her crying throughout?
Maybe she's crying.
I don't know. I feel like it would tell me specifically if she was just bawling through the whole concert.
She might have been crying. I don't know.
Who's to say? This is what is reported. I'm fully not aware of how we know she's struggling emotionally.
And then at the end, we got Mexico City. Yeojin collapses on stage. Yves has to get an IV drip prior. Only 8 out of 11 members finished the show.
But also to point out, Mexico City's also at a higher elevation, so that's probably most likely why there's some issues there.
That's fair, but also a lot of people have
they're also
it's still a problem. Everything else,
they're losing at least one person every single show that they've performed on this tour.
And and this is only the North American side.
Yeah, we're not even into.
And keep in mind, Chu is not on this tour at all.
Chu is not on the tour. Number one, Chu's not on the tour.
Chu not here the whole time. Chu did not do any of this.
Which is a dent at. Was also another dent into this tour because people probably wanted to finally see all 12, but that's not going to happen. Especially now.
All right, and then we get into the European leg of this tour. So Cherry does not participate in that at all due to health concerns.
So mind you, we're now down to no Chu and no Cherry.
Also, Hustle sits out the European tour due to a shoulder injury.
And no Hustle, so we're 3 out.
Eves sat out the Amsterdam concert due to health reasons. And 4 days before their scheduled Japanese concert tour, Luna's staff and Universal Music put out a statement that they were not able to obtain the necessary permissions and that the concert would be postponed to a separate date to be announced later. So,
Jesus.
also,
Everything.
I want to put a lot of blame onto the Luna company at this point because this was a very, very tight tour schedule.
We'll go into it more, but
Very
also
tight.
fuck BBC. We'll get into it more.
Specifically-
Fuck
we'll get
Blackberry.
to that
Okay,
part
so later, but specifically on this one,
It was
this
a
tour
tight tour
was
schedule. I
so
think the
fast.
thing that really got me about it was that they were in New York, flew to KCON, and then had to fly back to Atlanta.
Yes.
Immediately within like days of each other.
Yeah, because
That's
they
a
just
lot on
immediately
your
were,
body.
Like, bouncing back because they did not put this tour together in the right order of.
They did
it
not
was so
at
tight,
all.
and then for some reason they decided to do KCON in the middle of
In
it.
the middle on the other
some
side
reason.
of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course, all of these people are not in the concert because they're running at
They're
such
exhausted.
an
They're probably
essentially
getting barely any
unattainable
sleep.
rate for people.
You
Yeah.
can't sleep because they're essentially, again, it is the Lady Gaga meme. Tour, club, another club, sleep, another club, another club, another
God.
club.
Just take out
Whatever-
the club. Take out the club
But
aspect.
just,
but
but
you-
just, concert.
sleep, concert, airplane, bus, concert, bus, sleep, concert. Like, it's that.
But I also
over and
find,
over
like,
and
when you
over
compare
again.
to other tours, too, it's much better
It's
paced out.
international tour.
It's much better
Yeah.
paced out than this. This was
No,
ridiculous how
this
they
was
kept all the
also
dates together.
It was such a. Because again, usually you have enough time to get places. This felt like they
Mhm.
barely had enough time to get to where they're going.
It felt like they were on. They
Much
first, and I don't know why, but it seemed like they scheduled it like they were under a time crunch for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they
Go,
just like
go,
scheduled
go.
the tour like days apart from each other and completely separate parts of the country. It's like absolutely wild.
It's insane. It was so insane. All right, so now we get
Ugh.
to another fun one. So Nam Tae-hyun, a former member of Winter, and his girlfriend So Min-jae, a cast member of Heart Signal 3, are being investigated on suspicion of using illegal drugs. They were booked on August 26th at the Seoul Yongsan police station on charges of violating the Narcotics Control Act. And why do people think that they are on illegal drugs? It is because previously Min-jae posted on Instagram that Taehyun does meth and claims she has the needle he used in her room or office cabinet. She deleted that post later.
Why would you do
I think
that?
that
I'll
the
take
police
dumb
has a
criminals for
very-
500. Holy
I
shit.
personally, why would the police think I'm doing illegal drugs
I
when I
posted,
admit
my
to
girlfriend
doing
posted
illegal
it
drugs?
on the internet.
She did everything but post the bag of meth.
Yeah.
Wait, is philopon? Is that like the
That's
technical?
probably the Korean word for meth.
Okay.
That
Heart
might be the
Signal
Korean
3, is
word
that
for
a
meth.
drama or?
Heart Signal 3, I believe, is a variety
It's
show.
like one of these
Oh,
things where
okay.
it's like people. I think it's one of those ones where like people live in a house together type of a situation. Or
Are they trying to date each other
Heart
or
Signal,
like?
No, Heart Signal 3 is... What? Yeah, it is a variety show. It's got 3 seasons. Essentially, 8 people live together, get to know each other, and yeah,
It's like
they
a
go on
terrace
dates,
house
but
type
it's
situation.
not. It's Terrace House. It's
Yeah.
more Terrace House than
Okay, so this is Korea's version of
Singles
Terrace House,
Inferno.
basically.
Similar, yeah.
Okay.
It's more. I think there is a.
There is a
Apparently
romance
Shindong was on
element
season
to
1.
it, but like
So yeah,
Really?
Terrace House, but Korean edition.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Apparently, Shindong was on season 1.
Oh.
One, the rapper, was on season 2, and Pia was on season 3.
all
Oh.
right.
Yeah,
They have one
but yeah,
celebrity
no, I'm
per
looking at these
season.
people like. Yeah, one of them's like a CEO of a startup. One of them's like works for Cirque du Soleil, runner-up of Miss. Like, it's a bunch of people. They all live in a house. They go on dates. It's more Terrace House than Singles Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, really, you're gonna post about doing math on
What? Also,
Instagram?
on the
Oh my
internet?
The fact
God.
that it's a meth, very specifically.
Yeah. We're into like hard drugs now, apparently.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
don't
the
do math,
hard-
guys. I'm just gonna put that out there. Don't
Yeah,
do math.
okay, so I looked it up. Apparently, Philopon is a trademark for a methamphetamine, a Japanese trademarked methamphetamine.
Okay.
Oh,
But
Sure.
again,
that's like oddly
Still-
specific.
yeah, but also like it's also injected. Like, why are you admitting to doing hard drugs on the internet?
Especially
Why?
I don't.
And then you surprise
Minjae
when
is
you
a
get-
dumb bitch, because, like, girl, what made you think that just talking about that what your man's drugs he's doing is, and
like,
then delete it, it's gonna lead to no consequences? It's like, you idiot. Man. Also, you're keeping the same needle for that every single time? Ew.
You should not. Also, if you are gonna do hard drugs, please do
you
not
are
use the same
gonna do
needle.
hard
Yeah, you're reusing a needle?
If you're
sorry.
if you're already gonna be using hard drugs, I might as well just give you some advice. Don't use the same needle. That's how you lose your arm. That's
like,
how
what
you
the
fuck up
ew?
your
That's
arm.
gross. I'm sorry. Just, oh god.
All right,
okay.
all right.
Anyways,
moving on from the hard drugs.
Moving on from hard drugs. Hyuna and Dawn will leave P Nation in August. Woo. I guess. I don't know. Another one.
Or two.
September.
Really. All right, September. This is me. All right. First off, Soyul, former Kpop member, and Moonhee Jun, former, also kind of still HOT member, they welcomed their second child. Yeah, those two got married and had a shotgun wedding, and then they were with their oldest child, their daughter, on like Superman Returns for a little bit, and I guess they left the show, and now they have a son, I think, now? So, yeah.
Another child. Congratulations.
Congrats, I guess.
Second child.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats,
Sure.
I guess. Sure. Victims, Ho-chan was investigated for drunk driving and halted group activities, and in October it was announced he would be leaving the group. Sounds standard at this point.
Yep.
Drunk driving,
That
you
happens
get caught, you leave
too
the
often,
group.
to be honest.
Yeah, it's a thing that keeps happening more and more. So now we are done with quarter 3.
Quarter 3 now.
Another random thing I kept track of for some reason.
Leaving the group.
Every member that left their group. Also, this does also include groups that would later, like, disband.
Basically.
But, you know, before disbandment.
Before disbandment, here are people who left their groups, either before disbandment or that are still operating. For Big Bang, T.O.P. left the group, but also left YG Entertainment as well. And apparently is going to go to the moon with Steve Aoki at some point soon and open up his new wine thing.
choice.
So good for you. Good for you opening up your new wine brand too, T.O.P. Good luck with that. Black Swan, Judy and Younghoon. Yeah. They left. CLC, Sungyeon and Yeon. I mean, CLC disbanded, but also I think these people just left.
They left
Cube
before
as
the
well.
disbandment.
Yeah, they left Cube as well.
Disbandment.
They left, yeah.
Yeah. D Crunch, Dylan, DKZ.
We had a K-pop idol that named Dylan?
There's a K-pop
Learned
idol
that
named
this
Dylan,
year.
apparently.
Yep.
We had one.
We did.
Not anymore.
DKZ, one day, we already covered this. From S9, Gyuri. Yeah, she left to pursue acting, but from what I understand, she didn't sign the same contract that everyone else did when they got transferred over to Pledis as their main company now. So, this was kind of in the works prior. I Chillin, Sohee, Kingdom, Chiwoo, K&K, Oh Heejun, and Jong In-son. Lysera from Garam. Again, we already know that situation already. Don't need to explain it further. Lightsum, Huiyun, and Jian. That's Lightsum's also under Cube. They kicked out the 2 youngest members for whatever reason of that group.
Lightsum is
They
in
left.
shambles.
Yeah.
They're falling apart.
Yeah. Luna, Chu, we'll get into that
talk
later.
About that later.
And Mix Ginny, the girl, aka the girl who does the shoog, got left too for unknown reasons. Who knows why, but she left. Oh my girl, Jiho, left the group and also left the company too, right?
She just didn't renew her contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Is she still part of Oh my girl, or
No,
technically
No,
she's
she
gone?
just
didn't-
left, I think.
She just left. She
Okay,
didn't
she
renew
technically
her
left.
contract
Yeah.
at all.
Okay. 1S Raven, but
We will
that's
talk
for
about
We'll
that
get into
later.
that shortly.
we'll talk about it later. Pixie, Satbyol, and Ella. Purple Kiss, Park Jiyoon. Yeah, one of them randomly left after what was it, Nerdy? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember
Yeah,
what
I
exactly
think-
in the year she
I think it was
left.
Nerdy, because they had 7
don't
then.
I
Secret number, Denise. There was a person named Denise.
We
Cool.
had a Dylan and a Denise until
that is
year.
an older.
We learned
That's a
that.
middle-aged woman named
It
Denise.
is, indeed.
I know a couple people named Denise, so it's kind of funny. I'm seeing this. I'm like, all right, we're going old school, I guess, for stage names. TO1, Chihoon, Minsu, Jerome and Woonji. We already know about this
Who
one.
knows
We got
what's
into that.
going on there?
We already got into this.
Yep. Treasure, Banye Dam and Mashiro. Do we talk about this later?
No.
Don't think so.
No.
This isn't a scandal. They just left. They didn't want to be a K-pop idol anymore.
Yeah. And Banye Dam, I guess, is going to try to be a producer. I don't
Yeah.
think
Good
they're
for
under
him.
YG, correct? Anymore?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I
Banye
didn't get
Dam
that
might
specific.
be, I don't know.
He might still
He
be.
might
but
have
I
been
don't
transferring
remember.
to just like where all their music producers are, but I don't know.
Yeah, hell, he might
specifically.
just produce for Treasure at this
Yeah.
point. Call it a day.
Who's to say?
Hey, it might make him more money in the long run, so...
I think he figured out that he wasted his entire childhood trying to be a K-pop idol and then became one and realized it wasn't.
He didn't
didn't
wanna do
love
it
it as
anymore.
much
and then
as
realized he
thought.
actually wanted to focus on making music
Yeah.
instead of doing the idol stuff, which is fair, honestly.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes you a while, but... Weekly, Ji-yoon left, and then, of course, we just talked about it, Victon Ho-chan. And yeah.
That's everybody that left their group this year.
Yep.
Some random people.
A lot of people too.
A lot of people. I think this is an average year in K-pop, to be
Yeah.
honest. With the amount of groups there are, this feels average.
And also, the people that left, none of them, I would say, are too shocking.
I mean,
besides,
half of
like,
these people
Garum
are
and,
due
like...
to scandals too.
Yeah,
so.
half of these are due to scandal, and half of them are due to I don't want to be a K-pop idol anymore.
And the ones that are the most shocking, I feel like, are also, like, rookies, too. So it's like...
Technically, they never disbanded Big Bang.
Yeah.
Technically. Everyone just left, which I don't include.
Yeah, everyone except for, like, G-Dragon, and then, like, technically speaking, Taeyeon is under the Black Label, which is connected to
That
YG,
happened this
so...
year. That doesn't... We don't talk about
I
that.
mean, yeah, but still, technically speaking, he's still under the YG umbrella, so it's like, he didn't really leave. He's just...
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
October.
But anyways,
October.
October.
Woods leaves Yehua Entertainment and joins EDAM Entertainment. EDAM.
That's IU's label.
That is IU's label.
Yeah.
And now, my unique comeback further away.
Yeah.
It was never gonna happen anyway, but, you know, I
Yes,
like
yes.
to be delusional sometimes.
Alright, so we just talked about Raven leaving ONE. So here is the Raven situation that was happening. Still don't really know what's going on there, but on October 14th, an anonymous individual claiming to be Raven's ex-girlfriend posted a detailed and long account of their involvement on Twitter. In the account, the individual alleged that throughout their 2-year relationship, Raven repeatedly cheated on her while also making her pay for everything. They also claimed that the first time they had sex, he had gotten her drunk and she was not fully conscious for the encounter. That's a big
Well,
yikes.
that's scammy.
That's a big one.
And
Yeah.
terrible.
So RBW released a statement the same day saying that they were doing an investigation to determine all the facts, and later on the 27th, RBW announced the investigation was ongoing, but Raven had chosen to leave the group due to his concerns for the group's image.
That's all we know at this point.
We don't know anything else. Still don't know what's
Nothing more has
happening there.
happened since
But
then.
yep.
Yep.
Don't even know if this is true account or not,
Nope.
technically
Nope.
speaking.
Nope. We
But
don't
that's
know
all
anything.
we got on that for right now.
Yeah.
And before we say anything else and get ourselves proven wrong later on, let's talk about the K-pop fire.
Oh
what I call the
god, I
K-pop
forgot
fire.
about
Fire
this.
Festival.
I
The
call
most,
this
the
K-pop
most
fire
extra
festival.
thing to
It is a
happen
fire
stateside.
festival.
The
It's
most
amazing.
extra thing to happen stateside. I swear to God.
So, this is technically about Camp LA, if anyone remembers that. So,
God.
from the beginning, this
K-pop
whole
fire
concert
festival.
kind of seemed like a scam. Because
Mhm.
this gets presented to you, you're like, this is a
This
scam.
is not a real concert.
So Camp LA was a 2-day festival with an announced lineup of artists including Bam Bam, Somi, Super Junior, Taeyeon, Icon, Epic High, T1419, aespa, and others. Some early red flags include 1. Camp was being put on by an American company with no affiliation with Korea whatsoever. 2. The tickets were first sold were non-refundable and non-transferable, meaning you kind of had them forever. Later, when everything started to fall apart, they did allow people to request refunds. 3. Originally, only 2-day tickets were sold. Then after those were not selling, the organizers made single-day tickets available. So when even that wasn't selling, they just gave away a bunch of tickets. People got floor tickets for free to this thing. Which, again, if I was getting a ticket for free, I'd go and see what was going on.
Right?
4. It seems like they started selling meet and greet tickets before telling anybody who was actually having a meet and greet.
Oh, Jesus.
They're just selling meet and greets. Then, less than a day before day 1 of the concert, Camp just started really falling apart. it was announced that Taeyeon, Kai, Bam Bam, Somi, Zion T, Lapillus, and Monsta X all had visa issues and would be unable to attend. This was half of the overall lineup.
Big yikes.
Camp, in a statement, stated that the artists at the Saturday lineup would have increased set lengths, and then they added Momoland and T1419 as special guests, even though that just meant that they performed both days. From the TikToks of the event that I saw, even with the free tickets, this event was half empty.
Yeah, and we know people who went there too.
Yes, and it looked half empty.
Yeah, and they did details, and they were detailing
like
things, so that was interesting.
Mess of a
Shout out to KME. Thank you for giving us coverage, KME, for at least one of the days.
Also, during P1 Harmony's performance on day one, someone got arrested in front of everybody.
It's a lot of TikTok
because of the camera, right? She had like a big camera, and they had to like get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
on
god.
On day 2, Epic High's Tableau called out the festival and stated if they were ever to make a Netflix that's Hulu documentary, he would like to be involved. Dear God, Tableau, be involved. Make it yourself, sir. Please.
I love that so much.
That's what makes it the Fire Festival. It's great.
I would be so down for that. Just Tableau just freely creating a Camp LA Fire Festival documentary. Make it for free. Just do a free one on YouTube, Tableau.
Make it 20 minutes and free, because dear God, is no one gonna have to offer to do blowjobs
Epic
for
High
water.
probably showed up to that and saw it falling to shambles, and they're just like, "Why the fuck are we
Again?
here?" Like,
And Epic High knows how to do tours. They've frequently done tours in the States for the past several years now successfully. Like,
yeah, but
they
were
know
only
what they're
there
doing.
for like 20 minutes. They're
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah. They can tell when it's bad.
Thrive.
But yeah. All right. More get on the hype train too, because now we're gonna enter the BTS military saga, which one
This
could argue have
technically
been...
begins like 5 years ago, but like,
we are to be honest.
ignore
That
that.
conclusion
Ignore
recently.
that. We'll condense. You know,
But of
everything
course,
that
all
happened.
that for
It's
the most
BTS.
part was speculation until this year. So, the issue of BTS's military enlistment has been an ongoing saga for years at this point. So, again, we'll keep it as brief as possible. So, at the beginning of 2022, Jin had been given military enlistment extensions till the age of 30, and I'm pretty sure Suga had been as well, if I'm not mistaken.
But like a lot of this centers around Jin because it was going to be the first one that triggers.
Yeah, of course,
everything.
yes. Of course, that makes sense. And then in June, after the release of Proof, BTS announced that they would be going on hiatus to focus on solo activities, and many speculated that this hiatus would include their military service. And there are no updates to this until October, when the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism stated that the decision on BTS's military service.
Sorry,
I was about to say that's a B. Military service would be decided
it's a
by
15-page document. Something's got spelled wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. It would have to be I mean, the decision of BTS's military service would be decided by December, and it would have to be because Jin's 30th birthday was in December. Makes sense. And then, so back in late October, BTS would perform a free Busan concert to help with the government's bid to host the 2030 World Expo. And after that concert, HYBE put out a statement that BTS's Jin had requested to cancel the delay of his military enlistment and would be enlisting, and that BTS would reconvene as a group in 2025. And Jin then enlisted on December 13th last year.
Congrats, King. Look,
Yes.
I love this entirely because I love any good fuck you to the government.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And I love a good fuck you to the government. I also
I mean, it's
love
not a
good
complete fuck you because they still have to do it
In
legally
my
as a
mind-
citizen.
In my
but,
mind,
like,
this is a fuck you to the government by just absolutely doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
yeah.
No, truly
It's a
my
fuck
favorite.
you because they're
I
like,
love it.
we're not gonna allow you to make that decision. We're gonna make it before you
For
even get to
ourselves.
that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that what did add salt to the wound was this expensive ass concert that they
Which
had to,
they
the
get
HYBE
no
had to
money
they
cover.
paid
for.
for it.
That
they
I
got
no
paid
money for.
everything for. It was massive. It was insane. It was amazing. It was so good.
It's an incredible
it
feat
was
to pull
like
off, but also,
they-
yeah, I would want some compensation from that. Not gonna lie.
Not even compensation. Just not to have the expenditure. Like,
Yeah.
BTS was, I don't even think they were looking for the fact of, like, they wanted to get paid. It's the fact that
The
HYBE
cost
had
of
to pay
putting on
for
the concert.
everything.
Yeah.
HYBE had to pay for all the back dancers, pyrotechnics, everything. Essentially, I think they got a venue.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
it.
compensation for just operating this whole fucking
Operating
concert.
costs.
Yeah, I'm not talking about giving the members money. I'm talking about just to operate
That's
this
it.
venue.
Just
Just
paying
some
for
compensation.
the concert to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Good for them.
But of course, the government didn't want that on their paycheck because they probably thought people would get mad
at that
about
point,
that.
yeah. Because
But-
again, why are you? Again, it is an understandable thing of why are you using tax dollars to do an expensive, pop concert?
But then why are you
Fair
asking
enough,
for the
but also,
concert in
why
the
do you
first
want an
place?
expensive pop concert?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So many questions.
Yep.
Why do you want to host the World Expo? That's not even like a World Cup. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, why would?
What do you-
If anything, it would make more sense if you tried to do it for something like FIFA, but like the World Expo.
They they
Really?
wouldn't get the World Cup. They got the World Cup like a couple years back.
Yeah, I know, but like
they wouldn't
something
even
like
get it
FIFA would
soon
make more
enough.
sense to me than the World Expo in a way.
I
but
don't
like,
know.
I don't know.
You want what you want.
Anyways,
I don't
I'm
know.
glad BTS was all just like,
Good for
yeah, we're gonna
BTS.
actually
Yep.
do our own plan and not wait for you guys to make up that decision. So bye. We'll see if they actually do reconvene in 2025, because you never know what's gonna happen between then and now. But hey,
I don't know.
go look to them.
The world could end by 2025 for all we know.
Mhm.
That's life.
Yeah, you never know what's
Good
gonna
for
happen.
BTS.
But yeah,
Also, in what month are we in? October?
yes,
Yeah.
we are in
In
October.
October,
October.
TVXQ's Changmin, who has apparently been married since September of 2020.
Did not
I
know
didn't
that
know
till
that.
this year or last year. Did
I
not
also
know
don't
that.
think that was a revelation.
Did
I
not
just
remember
didn't know.
it. Did not remember it happening.
Didn't remember that at all. Welcomed his first child, so congratulations on the new baby.
Woohoo.
Woo.
Woo. I just love there's a lot of children this year, weirdly.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. So now we get into maybe the worst story.
Yeah, and this is, I think, the second
Probably.
longest scandal on the list after the
Yes.
Garam scandal, and this is the Omega X abuse situation that happened, which is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so this,
one could say this
yeah.
is more fucked up than the Garam one in some aspects.
It is.
was a lot,
It is a
I'd say.
lot more fucked up than the Garam
Yeah.
mess.
Because the other
Yeah.
one is a bunch of 12-year-olds being mean to each other. This is
a
like
grown
workplace
woman
harassment.
abusing like a group of 12 other guys.
Adults,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So, this starts on October 23rd, where a Twitter user posted an audio of an incident they allegedly witnessed in Los Angeles. The audio recorded is allegedly of Spire Entertainment yelling at and hitting the Omega X members. So, this goes along with another incident alleged in a series of tweets from another person whose mother allegedly witnessed a woman who she thought was a manager yelling at members of the group. So, Spire released their first statement. about
LA,
this-
that's insane, by
Well,
the way.
they were on
LA.
they were on a tour.
This was
It
the
was
tour.
in the middle of a tour that this
Yeah.
was happening.
Do we know what kind of user it was? Was it like a fan or something? Or was it just a
No,
random
these were all
incident?
these were random. One of them I think was a fan.
I don't know if they were
Okay.
fans, but they
Person with the
definitely were
mu-
aware it was
they
a
were
K-pop
not-
group.
Yeah, I don't know if they were fully fans of Omega X.
Yeah, but they knew it was a K-pop group, I think.
No, the person that
Jeez.
specifically talks about her mom says, "I'm not a fan of Omega X.
Yeah.
I don't know them well, but here's what my mom found," because she only knew that it was Omega X after
the
the
fact.
Someone
first
told
person
her,
puts
I
out the
think.
video
Yeah.
of puts out the video
Ah.
of them getting yelled at, which doesn't have any like it's not an image, it is
It's an
entirely like
audio.
an audio recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is just them getting yelled at by this other person who I believe that person that has the audio recording is a fan. The other person was not.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, Spire releases their first statement about that, basically saying that all the incidents were misunderstanding and apologized to fans for causing a concern. Nowhere in the statement do they apologize to the members. The CEO also denied any abuse having taken place on a phone call with SBS News. And in wake of the controversy, the company canceled the CEO and members' flights back to Korea.
Which means that they're stuck in LA.
Yep, so the whole of the members were just fucking left there, and they were only able to return home after paying out of pocket for all of their flights.
So that doesn't make any
left them
sense
in
to me,
LA.
honestly.
They left them in LA.
Like,
They left
No,
in
that
LA.
doesn't make any sense. Why did they cancel their flights?
Out of
I'm very
spite.
Because they
confused by
wanted.
that.
I don't know what they were doing. This company's falling apart.
The
That doesn't
CEO
make
is
any
also
sense.
a terrible person. She probably
Terrible.
did it out of spite for this
Spite,
happening
but also
and was like,
kinda
fuck
left
you.
herself there too.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't
that's
don't know
dumb.
why that was
I don't
a
know.
logical decision at any point in time. It was like, yeah, we're having a controversy. Let's strand you in a different country. Like,
Yep.
okay.
This is just stupid. If anything, if it was a controversy, you get him back home first.
No,
Who's to
let's
like
strand
that would be the
strand
logical
them
thing
in
to
Los-
do.
That's what a
stranded them
good
in
company
Los
would do.
Angeles.
We've obviously learned that this is not a good company. They're
Clearly
smart
not.
people.
Oh, because holy shit.
Or even even intelligent evil. This
That's
is
like such
stupidity
incompetency.
and evil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's really
Incompetent
the
evil.
ongoing theme of this entire scandal is that company is
Incompetency.
incompetent,
Incompetent evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
The new D&D corner, incompetent evil.
God.
Also, this next point is a side tangent I pointed out because there was a full
You
article
know what
about
it happens. So while this was happening, the production team for A Shoulder to Cry On, which is a BL drama 2 of the members of Omega X were to star in, it was supposed to be released in November, released a statement about the situation, expressing regret over it and encouraged better treatment of the 2 actors and Omega X as a whole, and then pushed back the drama to a later date because
I also like the
Wow.
idea that they have more concern for the members of
Than the
Omega X whom
CEO
they've
of their
never
company.
met.
When the show.
They only know 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Which also now makes me like, because I'm on the fence about like, okay, is A Shoulder to Cry On like a thing I should like? Was this like a plant? Like, are they okay with
Right.
the fact that they're now going to be love interests in one and you're both in
Yeah.
the same group?
Oh yeah.
But like, everything's like,
Everything's
maybe it's
fucked
okay.
now.
who knows if it'll even ever get
Who
released?
honestly, who's to say if it will at this point?
Who knows? I hope so that they, it doesn't all go to waste.
So it
but
still hasn't released this drama
It has
at all.
not
No, it has
released,
not released
yet,
yet.
but I also think they are probably also waiting for the situation to like resolve itself.
Which
'cause who knows?
we're almost
Mhm.
fully resolved at this point. So
Okay.
so
So hopefully they release it then.
yes. So Omega X then would make a new Instagram account unattached to Spire Entertainment. They acknowledge and confirm the abuse in the state they did not speak out because they had signed an agreement if they uploaded posts without consulting the company, they would have to take both civil and criminal legal responsibility.
Yeah, that will
Which
do
that's a
it.
big yikes
Um,
for them.
An NDA like
Yeah.
that would do it. Yeah.
So after
Yeah.
that, the company makes another apology statement, this time to Omega X members, and state that the CEO has resigned. On November 11th, SBS News reported more details on the abuse of the members, what they suffered with new video and alleged chat logs. In the new video footage, SBS stated that the song for verbal and physical abuse in LA was because the members did not properly thank the CEO and the company at their concert. The next day, she reportedly made a fuss at the hotel, knocking on the members' doors and cursing the manager. To the point and the hotel's employee had to break up the fight. That's not great.
Jesus.
Following this, the co-chairman of the agency sent a message to Omega X members saying, "I know what CEO Kang did was wrong. I cannot allow group actions. Mannerless Omega X, you will see the consequences when you get back." Oh boy. Also accounting to SBS reporting that abuses of power by the CEO were common. Once the CEPO forced members to stop in the middle of their concert to video call her because they did not call her earlier, even though her father passed away right before the concert started. Apparently the CEO and the chairman forced members to perform while 4 of them had fevers and tested positive for COVID.
Jesus.
Reportedly 4 members after receiving treatment for panic disorder, anxiety, and insomnia. They also reported Spire has asked the 11 members to pay 300 to 400 million won, which is about $230,000 to $300,000 per person as settlement fees.
I mean, I understand. Okay, I will say one thing on this, though. I know that Korea is really big on, like, respecting elders and shit like that, so in a way, I'm not surprised that someone got angry at this, but to go to the extent they did in a public setting in another country is fucking ridiculous. You know?
Really...
To get to the point that hotel employees have to break up your fight in a foreign country, what are you thinking? Like, honestly?
Really,
like, did you really have to blow up in a fight like that? Because of the fact they didn't quote unquote respect you enough. Like I understand
also,
I understand Korea got that whole
question
shit
here,
with it, but
why is she there?
Yeah, why
even
is
a better question?
Why
Why the fuck is she there?
Why is the CEO
Why is she
on
there?
this international
That, like,
tour
no
with
one-
them?
Yeah,
Also
why
a
is
question.
no one out here?
Also,
like,
the poor
questioning
managers having
why
to deal
is
with this
she
bullshit too.
Like, also, they
God.
they definitely did not get paid enough for that.
No, they did not at all.
But like, why is she on tour with them?
That's
That
also,
doesn't
you know
make
what,
sense.
a good point. Like, why is the CEO
Like,
on
do
the
you not
tour?
trust your group to perform
Well,
the way they're
again,
supposed
she
to perform?
seems like very
She
Control
seems
freak.
irrational. She also seems very irrational.
irrational as well.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. So
I was about to say, what was a CEPO, by the way? Was that a
it's
typo?
just CEO with a typo
With
in
a
it.
typo.
Okay.
Look, like, I don't know if that's a
It's
special
15
thing or not.
pages, guys.
I'm-
I didn't read this.
I just want to make sure it wasn't something else. But...
Yeah, no,
separate
That makes
person.
sense. Okay.
I made up a company position, y'all. It's great.
Anyways, to continue, I
Because
guess.
we're not done yet. So
Well,
Omega,
there's a lot more.
Omega
We're about
X.
halfway done.
We're about halfway there.
Jeez.
Omega X holds a press conference regarding the abuse on November 16th in solidarity with Omega X. Just to be postponed their comeback showcase to 2 p.m. to the same time as the press conference to 6 p.m. So that's cute.
Good for Just B.
Mm-hmm.
That's another rookie. How do I know Just B? That's
Just
another rookie
B
boy group.
has 2 of the members from Island in it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
During that press conference, the members of the group were present with their legal representation. They announced that the group plans to file a criminal complaint on charges of assault, intimidation, indecent act of compulsion, and attempted threat. They stated they had plenty of evidence, including photos, videos, and voice recordings. The legal team announced their plan to receive compensation from the chairman, who was aware of the situation and did nothing. And they plan to hold him criminally liable for aiding and abetting CEO Kang. They all members.
Aiding and abetting makes it sound like this is some sort of
Money
wanted
laundering
felon.
scheme.
Yeah.
No,
Honestly,
I'm
it could
talking
be.
like aiding and abetting a felon.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
I mean,
she
it
ran
could be.
from jail.
Yep.
It
Who's
could
to
be.
say?
She could be a
Could be at
Could
this
be.
point.
She probably
crazy
is.
person.
God.
So the
God.
members also then shared their individual stories. Jahan revealed that the CEO Kang threatened to commit suicide so the members would receive therapy. The members talked about how the CEO and the chairman would force the members to drink. Member Hangam stated that during company dinners, if the members didn't drink, they were treated coldly the next day. Sabin added that they were threatened with no next album if they refused to attend drinking gatherings. Jahan stated that sexual harassment was also involved. Their lawyer spoke of the sexual harassment, stating that members were touched on their faces and thighs. It was confirmed in the press conference that the members are experiencing anxiety. Jungkook also revealed that the members have never received a sincere apology since returning home after the incident, and instead the company raised a discussion of military enlistment for the members.
No. It's like, how do we divert this? Let's ship you all off to the military.
Yep, that's essentially what they tried to do
God.
there.
Essentially.
Also, like, forcing people to drink, too. Like, alcohol.
That's-
Just want to
yep.
emphasize they mean
And, like,
alcohol.
and threatening them with their careers if they didn't come.
Is
like,
that a culturally company thing in Japan and Korea? Yes, it is.
Yes,
But also, like,
you don't
force people
You
to
also
do that.
don't really get threatened, like,
To do that,
so
your
yeah.
overtly.
job, yeah.
It is like a
Yeah.
social. It is like
It's
a
a
social
social
pressure, as there
pressure,
is
yeah.
social pressure in every society to do certain
Yeah.
things.
But it's not like
Mhm.
a
It is
it's
so
not
much
a
an
blackmail.
overt threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
they
not like I
don't
get
really
blackout
blackmail
drunk.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jahan also spoke on why the members endured this treatment for so long. For all of us, it was our second attempt, and we did not want to waste time. We thought we had to endure for the fans who waited for us. As the oldest member and leader, I was so scared that our dreams would collapse while looking at our exhausted members. We held back and endured, but we have reached the point that we cannot endure any longer. We took courage for someone, for all those dreaming the same dream as us. So yeah, for people who don't know, Omega X is a group made up of members who have been in previously failed groups before. So
So
It
I can
is
see them
groups
being
like-
completely disappointed.
yeah.
in
like
that, yeah.
Annoy,
7
like,
o'clock,
yeah.
Annoy, Spectrum, I believe.
one team.
One team, and there were some from 1 to 9, I believe,
Someone's
right?
from Reigns is in there too,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like a lot of people who are like, this is like a second chance group for them. So it's like, I get why they felt they were in that position to begin with. And they did get like definitely more popularity as Omega X than any of their groups did individually. So they were in a really rough spot there.
That
Yeah.
sucks because it's like you finally get the recognition you've been craving
Yeah.
for when you enter this
Yeah.
industry, and then it's like your company's
And
treating
again,
you
to
like
be a
shit
K-pop idol
again,
that
probably like
does-
the previous companies.
Mhm.
And again, to be a K-pop idol that re-debuts and like tries it again in a different group after it already failed the one time, that's like the really, really dedicated people.
Oh, yeah.
of,
Yeah.
This was my again, you can walk away. A
Mhm.
lot of the members of those groups that, already had disbanded did walk away.
Yeah. Yep. So, on January 11th of this year, on 2023, Omega X announced on Instagram that they had been granted an injunction suspending the validity of their exclusive contract with Spire Entertainment. So, finally free of that entertainment
There's at least
company.
an injunction. I think they still have to go through like all
They're
the
still
court
doing
proceedings,
legal,
but
a whole bunch of legal problems. Yeah,
Good
Do
for
we
Omega
know if they're gonna
X.
try to be a group together or not?
I
Or is
think
it
they
just
will.
them?
I think
I
they
You
will
think they're
at this
going to?
point.
I
Okay.
think so,
I would think
but I
they
think at
would.
this point they kind of have to go through all of their like legal anything
Well, that makes sense.
To
Obviously,
even
take care of
know
the
if
legal
they
shit
have
first, and
the-
then figure out going
to
forward.
even
what
know
you
if they
wanna
have
do.
the right to do it. But
Right.
honestly, I hope so. They're really good.
I know, and it's
really
like at
like
this
them.
point where it's like all these people have already gone through like extensive measures to re-debut again. I
Yeah.
feel like they have like the will enough to want to keep trying that, but just not in an
Yeah.
incredibly abusive situation. But this legal
Yeah.
proceeding might take a really long time. So I don't know if they will be able to realistically before some of them have to start going to the military, because I
Yeah.
know this legal garbage takes forever. So
But also,
We'll
I
have to
think it is
see.
probably best for them to take a bit the break during all of this,
Mhm.
regroup, go to
Get your
therapy,
finances in
please
order
go
and
to-
figure out what you're gonna do or
Yeah.
who,
I don't
what
even
company.
Know about, I don't even really care about finances. I think go to therapy for a little bit.
yeah, yep.
Well, finances, therapy,
Just
but
figure it
also like
out.
if you do want to do the group
Figure
thing
out your
again, you gotta
life.
find a company or make a company somehow that's gonna let you do all this. Right?
I don't think they have enough ability to make a company right
They
now.
they are
Omega
they
X
are
was
more
they are
popular.
popular, but they're not
Not that
popular enough where they
popular.
can form their own company. They don't.
No,
have
yeah,
that
I
kind of
agree
money.
with that. So that's why it's like one of those
And,
things. Like
like,
you gotta
I
take care of
also-
yourself first, and then exhume all your.
I also wouldn't
options.
be surprised if some of them don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
After
probably
this.
not. I don't blame
We'll
them.
see what happens. I think we got to give them some time.
Mm-hmm.
So
This one
also
actually-
as a fun extra, Astra's agency confirmed that Rocky and actress Park Bo-young were dating, but her agency
her
denied the
agency
dating
denied it.
rumors. So,
Oh.
So are they dating?
so
Who knows?
what's going on there?
We have. I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now we're in November. Home stretch. This is actually the last like real month.
Yeah, because
Um,
December has two very quick ones. So
Yeah. Okay, so I called this one Jungkook's hat. This is the most useless piece of thing I've
it's
ever seen
really,
in my life.
it's really so dumb.
Also, like, why'd you get
But it's
fired
very
for this?
It's
is a
really
better
so stupid.
answer.
There's a very good reason why they got fired for this.
No,
why
I
would
mean,
you-
but like,
but why would
you
no,
be
what I mean is,
stupid
why
enough-
would
why
you
would
let
you
yourself
do
get
it?
fired
Yeah.
for this?
Why
Yeah,
would
why
you
would
do
you do
this?
it? That's what I mean.
Okay, an employee of the an employee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stole a hat that Jungkook left at the waiting area of the passport division. The employee claimed that they acquired ownership of the hat since no one called or visited to claim ownership for 6 months after it was reported as lost property. However, there was no record of it being reported. The person was trying to sell the hat for 10 million won, which is about $7,000. And posted a photo of the hat online with a picture of a civil servant ID card. Really incriminating yourself
Oh,
there,
boy.
buddy. The employee is now apparently a former employee. The person turned themselves into police. The police were reviewing possible charges. And at that time, it had not been decided whether the hat would be returned. I'm like, is it evidence? Like, what is going on? It's Like, I don't know if Jungkook wants the hat back.
And at this
probably
point,
doesn't.
Jungkook
He
probably
probably
didn't even notice it was
doesn't
gone in the
care.
first place.
Yeah.
I don't even think Jungkook knows all of this happened.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, I lost the hat? Oh shit,
That's
that's
a
where it
big-
Someone's
went.
going to jail for
That's where it
for
went.
my hat?
Yeah.
Damn.
Ah. Because I imagine, I wouldn't be surprised
I
if he
think the
gets a
civil
lot of
service-
free clothing that
Yeah.
at some
Also
point
the
some
fact
of it
that,
you
like,
forget
it's
about.
a hat. I feel like I wouldn't notice if I lost a
I
hat,
probably
really.
would.
Like,
yeah.
oh, my hat's... Oh,
Or
I had
like
a hat. Whoops.
I might notice, but I wouldn't be that sad about it. Like
No, it's a hat.
Yeah.
It's probably
It's
it's
fine.
probably like some fashion designer
It's
brand
not
hat,
like
but
he-
like he can also easily get another one if he
But
really
also,
wanted
like,
to.
it's a hat.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
It's a hat.
They didn't steal his wallet.
Yep.
The other thing is, we love incriminating yourself by doing this, because, like, if he didn't have the civil service ID card in there, he could have just said, hey, I was also at the passport division that day. I took a hat that I found.
Yep.
Less likely to get you fired.
Yep. It's really the
Oh,
selling it for $7,000 part that is.
I
Which
mean,
tells
feel
me it was probably a designer brand, but also like
No, it
because
doesn't. It
Jungkook.
just means it was touched by Jungkook.
Yeah.
It was Jungkook's
No, touched by
personal
Jungkook,
hat.
but also designer brand. You can justify selling for that much. If you can get both, then you can justify for selling it more than that for sure.
I'm saying it's probably a designer hat, but I feel
Because it's
like
probably a
some
designer
idiot-
hat that costs
Again,
like a
if you're
few
that
$100
dumb- here's
most
the thing,
likely at
if you're
most.
that dumb,
But yeah,
if you're that dumb, I feel like you would try to sell Jungkook's fucking Walmart hat for $7,000
Yeah.
just for the Jungkook of it.
True.
If you're that dumb.
True.
All right.
So
now we're on to the last real story.
Yep.
And a story that technically has no ending.
It has
not
it's
yet, at
actually
least. Still going on.
It is genuinely
It has started at the beginning of
anticlimactic.
2022 and is still ongoing.
Like, it is actually a very... it's not the ending of this video, but for the last story, it's actually a very, like, not satisfying way to end.
It is not at all.
Considering
It is
it's
not a
an
satisfying
ending.
way to end,
But
especially
if
with,
you've come back to this sometime in the future, maybe you'll know the ending. We don't. Maybe
hopefully
you
we will eventually,
Currently,
but
we do not know the
We
ending.
will. But I'm saying current us who is recording this does not know the
We
ending.
do not.
Maybe you will when you're
We listen to
listening
this
to
at some
it.
point, but who's to say?
yeah. So this is Chu getting kicked out of Luna. So this is basically kind of the inevitable conclusion as to what's been going on with Luna this whole past year and now into the next year. And there have been rumors going back to at least December of 2021 that Chu wanted to leave or at least suspend her exclusive contract with BBC, BlackBerry Creative. In February, she did not participate in their Seoul concert for allegedly health reasons. And then in March, Chu establishes Chu Corporations, where she is listed as a CEO and her mother as an internal officer. And Chu does participate in Queendom and in their Flip Back comeback, but however, after that, she does not participate in their US tour, their Japanese comeback, their Japanese concerts, fan signs, or Luna Seoul concerts. And keep in mind, during this time, there are too many articles, essentially to count, going in and out, that give a lot of conflicting reports and details, and things get exposed, and text messages and all that jazz.
It was
And some are saying-
complicated.
Complicated. Some are saying she's leaving the group, some are saying she's getting kicked out of the group, and then there's BBC maintaining that she's still there. And then finally in November, BBC released a statement that Chu will be expelled and withdrawn as a member of Luna. And their
A
statement...
very specific phrasing of withdrawn and
Yes.
expelled.
Yeah.
What is, like, that is
Just
the
why?
worst. Why did you phrase it like that? No one has ever phrased it like that, even when they did kick people out for good reasons.
Yes. And then in their statement, they allege that Chu and her mother were allegedly rude and abusive to the staff. And that was why they kicked her out. But following this, a lot of people, like more than you would expect in the industry, in the entertainment industry in Korea, came out and defended Chu against these allegations. And even like news companies are even writing essentially cutting away hit pieces against BBC and mocking them. So yeah, there's that. And then it was also reported in December that nine of the other Luna members, barring Hyunjin and Vivi, decided to collectively sue BlackBerry Creative to get out of their contract. BBC announced Luna comeback a few days later, and then a few days later, thanks to essentially Orbit's going crazy and deciding to essentially protest, they indefinitely postponed the comeback. And then as of recent, I will say as a quick update to this, 4 of the members were able to suspend their contracts for now. 5 of them that sued were not able to because I guess they were modified at some point. But the court case is still ongoing, even though BlackBerry Creative has kind of declared a victory, but it's not really a victory, my dude, because it's still ongoing. But yes, 4 of them, Heejin and then all of Odd Eye Circle were able to temporarily suspend their contracts, and they now have Instagrams, and Chu and them are like liking each other's posts and all that shit, you know. So that's the latest update as of right now.
So I'm gonna
Truly
go on
a
a limb and say
disaster.
Luna's dead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Luna dead.
Sucks. Luna is probably done with, and it sucks for me because I'm definitely a fan. But it's like BBC is a piece of shit company for all the bullshit they did with the tour shit, for the treatment of this, for the alleged treatment that Chu's been accusing of them.
Been
like
in shambles for
from the
essentially
beginning.
The beginning, yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the writing was on the walls from the beginning.
at this point, I hope everyone's able to leave at some point and get away from them. Don't know when that will happen.
Didn't like in 2020 or 2021, didn't they file for bankruptcy or some shit?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's like,
Because again,
And they had the whole
what
thing
are
with
we-
donuts
like,
when they
what
didn't
are
pay
we
them back
doing?
money.
well,
Yeah.
here's the other thing. The concept of Luna, I think, has been proven to have been like a bad idea, not because of Luna as a group, but because of that was too much money.
yeah.
But also
were
apparently I
spending
found out that
money
it was
like there
only
was
like
no
$2 to
limit.
$3 million instead of the reported $9 million. They exaggerated the cost of
That's
it
still
apparently,
too
but
much money.
still, that's a lot of
That's
money.
still
$3
too
million
much
is still a
money.
lot of money.
That's still too much money. for what they were doing, and they got
Yeah.
none of, like, from the beginning, this was a flawed concept.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this is very disappointing, if anything. And at this point, I'm just like, Orbits are definitely ride or die right now. The fan girlies and dudes, they're just like, we will
Luna,
not give
here-
them money. We will make sure these girls get out of here. They're ride or die right now.
Luna girlies for good and for bad have always been ride or die.
Yeah, for good and for
or
bad.
for bad, and that's sort of what's been both helping that group and destroying it.
Yeah. But in this case, it might be destroying it for the best at this point. But yeah, it's disappointing as someone who has been a fan of Luna, but at this point it's kind of just like, surprise, surprise, another small company is shit. Who knew? But yeah. I mean, the only other interesting thing that happened this month was that Hyuna and Dawn broke up.
Remember how we said put a pin in that in like
that.
February?
Yeah, put a pin in that. They
Here
broke
we
up.
are. They
We got
broke
here.
up, and now they got engaged and they're broke up now. So
Now they're done.
yep.
Oh well.
All
Oh
right.
well.
Rip
End of
Hyuna
an
and
era,
Dawn.
I guess.
So
Look.
just it's really they want
December.
it's a time. December. We got two very
done.
short things to say in December. Firstly, iKON leaves YG Entertainment as a
Wait.
group and then signs with 143 Entertainment.
So we're not
Yay.
done! Yay!
So
Good for-
definitely
I mean,
not
look.
disbanded.
I'm so
We're not
happy
done.
for
We were
iKON.
afraid. We were.
I
remember
was-
you
I
were
was
talking
so
about. You were like,
sad
they're
for
on a
Earlier
timeline.
this year, we were talking about how iKON has an expiration date, and that was soon, and they did with YG
was like
Entertainment.
November.
But like now, here they are with a different company as a whole.
Yay.
So,
Yay! Or at least
I
as the
was so
six. At
I'm
least as the
so
six.
happy.
That doesn't
I
look like
was really
BI's.
sad
BI's
when I
not
heard-
coming back.
Well, I was
Yeah.
really sad when I heard iKON is leaving YG Entertainment.
I was
but
so
then it was
upset.
like, no, but they're gonna sign as a group with a new company.
Oh
And I
Lord,
was
I'm
like,
so
oh,
happy.
Hell yeah.
Look, I
Yay.
am very interested to see what is the YG of this year,
Yeah.
because think about it. They got 2 groups right now. Gonna have 3.
Yes.
They're gonna have that new girl group too
Yes,
that they've been
they
teasing.
will,
but they
Hey,
might
but
lose,
let's be
but they're
honest, they
gonna
might-
lose Blackpink. Probably.
They're gonna lose Blackpink this year.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be at 3.
They're gonna be at 3 groups.
They're gonna have Winner,
They're gonna have
Treasure,
and
Baby Monster.
and that's YG Entertainment.
and that's YG Entertainment. They lost their best group.
They did.
Hmm.
They just lost they lost iKON, the best YG group.
did.
And they've
Yeah.
been the best YG group for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. I'm hoping that they just are gonna absolutely thrive.
I
because
know.
like BI got kicked out and BI's fucking thriving.
I know he is.
Good for him. And like same thing also, now that they're out, can I get the Bobby BI album I was promised
Ooh, maybe
10 years ago?
Maybe.
If BI wants to even do anything
Again.
with them again, let's hope.
I don't
but
think BI
I don't
hates
think that there's
iKON.
anything.
I
still
don't think
that
so.
that's
But
the
I
problem.
he hasn't joined them back
would
yet.
love for like I also think BI probably because of his legal standing might want to keep his distance from I feel like BI might be the kind of thing of like he does attempt to not get it interfere with people. Cuz that's probably why he got kicked out.
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
to
yeah.
not interfere with the image of iKON, which again, YG drug scandals have taken a turn from remember when they could just get away with it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But, like, can I please get the Bobby B.I. album I was promised almost 10 years ago?
Would be great.
Jeez.
Would be fun.
Like, I feel like we were promised that album during Win, much less during
Honestly.
anything else. Like, I feel
Probably,
like that was when
to be
I was
fair.
promised that album, and, like, Winner
Yeah.
debuted, like, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, that'd be amazing.
Oof.
That would make this year.
It would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm just happy we kept iKON.
Yes.
Yay,
we kept
iKON.
iKON thrive.
The only YG group that's actually gonna make it post
Yes.
YG.
Yes,
Because
yes.
think about it.
Yep.
It's never happened before.
No.
No.
All right. So to end off this, we of course have the Dispatch New Year's Eve couple reveal,
Woo!
which,
And
is,
this year was actually a K-pop couple.
which was fun, which is IU and then actor Lee Jong Suk, which that's
Yay!
That's
good
fun.
for them. Honestly, not like that seems like a way more reasonable couple than some of the.
It's also like I
Of
was
the
like,
Dispatch
that's like I get that. That
I'm like,
makes
yeah.
sense.
That sounds perfect. This
That
is
sounds
perfectly
correct.
reasonable.
Yep.
Also, I love when because every once in a while I keep remembering, I'm like, what was the Dispatch couple from that one year? And it's just an actor couple I don't care about.
And it's like, oh,
or like an
yeah.
athlete thing, and I'm like, oh, that's why, because it's not always a K-pop
Yeah.
couple. Again, best one is the one I was online when
You
it
mean
came
Jenny
out,
and
it-
Kai? God, that was insane. Me and you, I was like, yo, Sam.
You and I were online
that
together
was fun.
when that dropped.
We're
and
like,
it was
oh
my favorite night in the
shit.
world.
We were having
The
so
world
much
fell
fun.
apart.
That was fantastic.
Oh, it was amazing. It's not as dramatic as that one, which I
Thank you, Jenny and Kai, for the
plant.
tea, for the memories. Thank you. I owe it to you too.
For YG and SM, like being like, hey, you got somebody in Paris? Cool, I got somebody in Paris. Do we throw them in an Uber together? Alright, sure. I'll pick her up. Cool. And then they got in an Uber for a half hour, had the most awkward conversation. I can only imagine how awkward that conversation was, and then left.
They didn't have photos of them, though, in Korea, allegedly, so who knows?
Also, the most awkward conversation imaginable.
Probably.
I think
maybe it's a plan, but also maybe they could have had
a
a little fling, and then it was like, Blackpink, I think, was supposed to go on world tour right then and there, so that was like, well, I guess this is not going to happen, but whatever. That was fun to watch, though.
Also, IU, Lee Jong-suk, probably not a plant. Much more reasonable couple. Gonna be a couple probably for a while. Unlike Jenny and Kai, who were a couple for a week.
Also, Kai having also been linked to Crystal as well.
Crystal?
Two K-pop girlies.
Those EXO boys have been linked to some people. So many people.
Alright, so the last Sammi fun fact of the year.
This I recorded like a week ago because I couldn't do it, because I had to do this separately. I made the stupid decision that, like, the pandemic's over. This can't be that bad. To keep track of every idol that got COVID. I'm going to put it out there. This is 2 pages long.
So many people.
So
many people.
It's at least 100 people.
Some people got it more than once, so...
Some people got it 3 times.
Yep.
That's a really shitty year, then, to be sick of it constantly.
I kept track of how often they got it, too.
Stray Kids is really the one that's like, what's going on here, my guy?
To put in perspective, hello, Kayla, insert here me doing this, because I'm sorry.
Sarah, so here is the list of all the COVIDs by Sammi.
G-Idol, Miyun and Soyeon, 2 AM, Jo Kwon, Sulong and Jinwon, 2 PM, Junho, Jun-K, AB6, Woojin, A-Pink, all members, Astro, Moonbin, Sanha, and Eunwoo, ATBO, Sungwon, ATEEZ, San, Billy, Siyun ×2, and Soohyun. Block B, Pio, Brave Girls, Yoonha and Minyoung. B2B, Eunkwang twice, Hyunsik, Chansub, Peniel, and Sungjae. BTS, V and Jungkook. Cherry Bullet, Haeyoon and Bora. CIX, Bae Jin Young. CN Blue, Younghwa and Minhyuk. Gravity, all members. Davichi's Minkyung. Day6's Wonpil. DKZ's Teo, Junsu, Yuku, Ichan, GK, D1, and Loon. Dreamcatcher, Shwa. Drippins, Yusung, Chanyuk, Junho, Leehyup. Enhypens, Sonu, Heesung, Jake, and Jay. Epex's Q. Epic High's Tableau. EXID's Solji. EXO's Kai and Dio. From his Nines, Siyun, Chaeyoung, Saram, and Gyuri. Ghost Nines, Chansung, and Junhyun. Girls' Days, Minna. Girls' Generations, Taeyeon, Sohyun, and Sunny. Golden Child's Jangjun. GOT7's Youngjae. Highlights, Kikwang twice, and Yosub. Icons, Jinhwan, Yoonhyung, Donghyuk, June, and Chanwoo. ITZY's Ryujin and Chaerong, Yeji, and Leah. JO1's Kaigo, Takumi, Sky, Issei, and Junki. Just B's Gungyu and Sungwoo. Kepler's Yujin, Daeyoon, Chaehyun, Youngun, and Yiso. Kingdom's Arthur, Mujin, and Dan. Laboom's Haein. Lee Seraphim's Unchae and Yunjin. Luna, all members except Hyunjin. Lovely's is Minju. Mamamoo Solar. Momoland's Jui, Nancy, and Haben. Monsta X is Hyungwon, Kihyun, Minhyuk, IM, and Juhoney. NCT, all of NCT Dream. Taeil, Jungwoo, Yuta, Jaehyun, and Johnny. NMIXX is Suloon, Kyujin, Haewon, and Jiwoo. Newest, Minhyun and Baekho. N-Flying's Jaehyun. Oh My Girls, Yubin, Aaron, and Sunghi. Omega X's Jaehan, Hungyoon, Jaehyun, and Junghoon. Pentagon's Shinwon, Jinho, Yeowon, Wooseok, and Yuto. Red Velvet's Irene, Joy, Yeri, and Wendy. Rocket Punch is Sooyoon, Yoon Kyung. 17's Wonwoo, Joshua Twice, June, The 8, S-Coups, Sungwon, DK, Hoshi Twice, Vernon, Junghan, Dino, and Mingyu. SF9's Taeyang, Channy, and Jaeyoon. Shiny's Key, all members of Stacy. Stray Kids, all members, with Lino getting it 3 times, Han twice, and Sungmin twice. Super Junior's Eunhyuk, Rowook, and Shiwon. T1419's Gungwoo. Tempest, all members. The Boys, Eric, Younghoon, Hyunjae, Sangyun, Jacob, Nu, Kevin, Q, and Juyeon. TO1's Chan. Treasures, Yoshi, Hyunsuk, Junkyu, and Mashiho. Tri-B's Songsun, Kelly, Hyunbin, Jia, and Mirai. TVXQ's Yoonho. Twice's Sana, Nayeon, Momo, Tsui, Mina, and Jiho. TXT's Yeonjin, Subin, and Taehyun. Unique's Woods. Uptension's Kyujin, Kun. Very Very's Kangmin, Younghyun, Minchan, Youngho, and Hoyoung. Victon's Sejun and Byungchan. VV's Sinbi, Weekly's Lee Sujin, WeEye's Donghun, Youngha, and Sukwa. Wiki Mickey's Doyeon. Winners Sunghoon, Sungyun, and Jinwoo. WJSN's Luda, Xe, Yoram, and Dayoung. And for soloists, we have Hyolyn, Kwon Eunbi, Kim Junsu, Kim Minju, Jessie, Hyuna, Jung Shiwon, Kim Sejong, Jo Yuri, Zico, Boa, King Daniel, Crush, and Ha Sung-won. I apologize for every bit of pronunciation that just happened. I apologize for the pronunciation. I lost my mind halfway
It's
through.
fine.
This is a
It
lot.
is. It really is a lot.
Yeah, so Stray Kids, Lino, how did you get it 3
Three
times?
times.
Fucking time.
3 times! And that's just what I got reported.
3
There's
times.
multiple groups on here that had every member get
How
it.
did only one member of
Everyone
17
at
not
once.
get COVID is my question.
Woozy
It's
did not
only
get COVID.
Woozy
Woozy
didn't
is
get
the
COVID.
only
Woozy,
one.
where was he
Woozy did not get
hiding?
reported to me.
Where was he hiding? I need to know. Where is the short
Oh.
king hiding that he did not get the COVID?
Maybe it's because he's so short.
Maybe it's because he's so short, the COVID didn't go down. That's-
Damn. The short king status helps you out,
But-
apparently.
Yeah, it's like every member a Tempest, every member a Dream, every member a Luna,
Except for
one.
Hyunjin somehow. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yep.
Every member is 17.
I remember
except
the boys
Woozy,
except for Juhakya.
except for Juhakyun. Every member of B2B except the ones that aren't here.
Except the ones in the
Except
military.
for Minhyuk, sorry. Every member of Monsta X except the one that's in the one that's in the military.
Yep.
It was everybody got COVID. I feel like no one got COVID.
Almost
last
everyone
year.
in Icon got
And
COVID.
Everyone
like,
got it this
Everyone
year.
got it this year, though.
Everyone
It got to
got
jail one this year.
It got to 4
all of
members of
Dream,
Jail. I
all of
don't know about
NCT
I&I.
Dream got it.
All of Dream, and a bunch of members of 127.
God.
It was so many people.
And this is why we're not doing this
Yeah.
again.
This made me lose my mind. This specific, keeping track of who got
has
COVID, because at some point it was too late to stop.
Yeah.
Because it was like
Once the
August
list gets
and I'm
to like
still
30,
doing
and it
this.
gets to like 30 people. It's like, well, now I gotta keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just kept going, and I have, how many groups is this that got COVID? Hold on, let me.
Far
I
too
have
many.
81 individual groups with multiple people getting COVID and all. This is too.
And then
this
all
is,
the solo.
This is well over 200 people, maybe
so
close
many
to
people.
300. If you count all the members from where I just wrote all members, you're close to probably 300 people.
Truly
with
too
COVID.
many people.
It's insane. Absolutely an insane endeavor I did. This episode's probably gonna fucking flop now with the amount of effort I put into it. And
No, I
it's
think
gonna...
it'll do good.
Oh, thank you.
Don't hate on
Content that
yourself.
normally does
This
good.
was fun, kind of.
This just took, again, if it flops, I will be upset because, dear God, look at
Yeah,
my
you did,
effort.
so
you
much
did a lot
effort.
of work. You did a great job.
This
Thank you.
episode combined with also the 8 tiers of scandal iceberg we did last year is like really burnt us out on the scandal content.
We can't do any more scandals. We will do scandals in, like, it's 2023. Maybe by, in 5 years, we will do a scandal iceberg of the scandals from the last 5 years, if
Yeah.
anything. I can't do this anymore.
But it's like, my God, it's just so much research to keep track of. It's like there's
Like,
so
It's
actually,
also
it's a lot.
research into, it's like sub-research,
Yeah.
which was the main problem. The Thai political crisis, Korea's bullying
All the
laws,
BS with
it was a lot of
Omega X, like the shit related to Burning Sun.
that. At least I did not have to do external
True.
research for Omega X. It was a little more cut
True.
and dry.
that Burning Sun
The
script
external
was
research
truly
was
one of
really
the
my
worst things
issue.
I've ever had to write. The Burning Sun tier of the iceberg.
It's
God,
like
I did
insane
that a
how
lot.
many fucking mega threads were on the subreddit at that time. It was
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. I think it went up to like close to 40.
And then also,
It was insane.
yeah, and then also keeping up with fucking people leaving groups, people in the military, people. I don't know why I decided to do all of the like fun facts.
Just as an extra bonus.
Just as an extra bonus
It adds
bit
some
of work I
spice
did
to
for
the
myself.
episode, Sammy. Don't you know?
It's
Provocative. It adds some spice. It keeps the people going.
It was a fun look. I will say, now looking at it, it is a very concise thing I've done.
It is.
It is in a way my K-pop magnum
Yeah.
opus.
Mm-hmm.
In a way. Again, I'm at least, look, when we started this was before, I think the only thing that had been out when I originally made this was like January and maybe February. So I'm like, I mean, if we continue just doing this kind of scandals, it'll kind of be a boring
Yeah.
video. And then you get
And then Garum is
And then
like
Omega
3
X.
pages long. Yeah.
And then I get the freaking BS, and then Street Man Fighter starts.
God, the
airing,
mess
I'm like,
that
nope,
Street
we got
Man
content.
Fighter is.
We got
And
content.
then it's like at that point it's like, well, now we gotta take out all these smaller ones because it's too fucking long. Like,
Oh yeah, I originally had like a full like half page about Trainee A.
yeah, and then that just died.
That I got rid
so we didn't care about it anymore.
Yeah. Then eventually I'm like, oh, Trainee A is not happening.
Yep.
Delete. That's not necessary. Look, this is all the major things. And trying to keep some levity. Some
Yep,
good
yep.
happened this year. Good for DKZ.
Mhm.
That's
Good
why
for
we have
Icon.
all of the children that were born this year as
Look
well.
at all the children.
Look at all the K-pop babies.
children.
Yep.
I almost had all of the marriages, but that was too many marriages.
many
But also
marriages.
congrats to everybody that got married
Yep.
this year.
And finally be able to host your
Congrats.
weddings, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
having all the weddings. Who just got married? Wasn't it that one member of who just got married?
Someone with Map
Two
6.
members-
I thought.
Yeah, Map
or-
6
Map
and,
6 and somebody got
Yukika.
married.
I think she's from
Yeah.
Japan, but she's
Congrats to
in City Pop in Korean here, in Korea.
Mhm.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Like, everyone's thrive, live your best lives, everyone be happy. Bad things also happen, but that's every year. So you just try
Yep,
to take the
Yeah.
good with the bad. And also, scandals do tend to skew negative.
They do. So,
Because they are
Yes.
scandals. And, K-pop, and like we said, dating's not a scandal, so
Yeah,
it doesn't count.
Yep. So that has been the 2022 scandal wrap up.
There will be no 2023
There will be
scandal
not be one of these
wrap-up.
for 2023. Sorry to disappoint everyone early, but you know we're not doing it anymore.
Hey, we're keeping the expectations real.
We are. We are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are also on YouTube, where we post all of our episodes along with fun clip videos occasionally as well, because we're doing so many top 10 best and worst list of every past years in K-pop. There's gonna be top 50s of each year by me and Sammy, every single one. So if you want to see those, go to our YouTube channel. It'll be very fun. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.